Michigan at Grand Valley State University. The robotics season continues. It's Michigan First Robotics, and this is a West Michigan district event. We welcome you inside along with my partner, Dan Kimura. I'm Dan Gutowski. We'll have Kaylee Marentet as part of our broadcast as well in just a moment. Dan, the excitement keeps building from week to week. These teams have had more and more time to spend with their machines and hopefully make them better and more competitive.
Yeah, for sure. So week 4, which is the week we're playing now, means that almost all of the teams here have already played an event. So I think 2 or 3 teams will be here for the first event of the year. Everybody else has already had a chance to run their robot to compete with it. So we're looking to see a lot more polished robots and a lot higher level of competition.
And there's always a lot to absorb and process with the game theory, game rules, gameplay. Let's take a look at how this gameplay will unfold today here in Allendale.
So this is Rapid React, sponsored by Boeing. It is an airline-themed game. That giant structure you see in the middle, that is our goal, or our hub. There's actually a high goal there that you can shoot into and a low goal. There are also some hanging bars on the sides of the field. Now, a match is 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. The first 15 seconds are autonomous. What that means is all of the robot movements are pre-programmed. The drivers are not touching the controls. You can score points in 3 ways during autonomous points. Leaving that taped zone is called taxiing. That's worth 2 points. And scoring in the high goal and low goal are worth double points right now. So 4 for the high, 2 for the low. After the first 15 seconds, the drivers are able to step forward and take control of the robots. We call this the tele-operated period. So now they have 2 minutes and 15 seconds to just run up that score. Score as many of those tennis balls as they can. So you'll see some will go low for 1 point, some will go high for 2 points. When you shoot high, you got to be a little careful because the ball can bounce out. And then, moving on towards the end game, the last 30 seconds of the match, robots are going to head over to the hanging bars. And there are 4 hanging bars. The higher you get, the more points it's worth. They're going to start on the low rung for 4 points. If they can get to the mid, that's 6. The high rung is 10. And then the very highest bar is called the traversal rung. That's worth 15 points. Now, there's some rules that prevent you from reaching all the way up to the highest bar in one go. That's why you see robots doing that monkey bar swing to get all the way up to the highest bar.
So that's how things will unfold today. Well, Dan and I are high above all the action down here. Kaylee Marentet, though, she is the one that's right down in the trenches talking to the kids about these machines. Let's get a preview of what she's going to bring to our broadcast today.
Hey, Dan and Dan. Yeah, lots of excitement here. Everyone's so excited to be back. And like you said, I did speak with some of these team members to talk about their robots, what they're excited for. I spoke to a gal here. It's her first tournament, what it's like for her. I also sat down with the Dean of Engineering and Computing here at Grand Valley State University to get his input on this weekend and what he looks forward to. We're going to have all those stories plus post-game match interviews. But for now, I'm going to send it back up to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thanks. Yeah, lots of activity going to be starting very soon here. Teams are on a break now, but we're just about set to rev the engines and get this thing started. It's our Michigan First Robotics West Michigan District event. We'll get things started here in Allendale when we come back.
DTE believes leaders are defined by doing what's right, not what's easy. So we're tripling renewables and cutting carbon emissions in half over the next 10 years and using cleaner natural gas. Working even harder to create a future where producing affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. DTE.
How do you change the way the world moves? Change course. Aptiv is engineering the brain and the nervous system to bring the future of mobility to life with advanced computing platforms and smart vehicle architecture, taking you from point A to point B and every point in between. We are Aptiv, and we're moving mobility forward.
I got into energy because I really love playing around with cutting edge technology.
I got into energy because ever since I was a kid, I've been a social butterfly.
I got into energy because I didn't want to spend all day in an office.
I got into energy because I have always been a problem solver.
I got into energy because I wanted to work in a skilled trade.
I got into energy because I know that it's stable local work.
There are lots of reasons to get into energy, and chances are we have a career that's right for you. Get inspired at consumersenergy.com/careers.
Today's Michigan First Robotics event is brought to you by Consumers Energy, count on us. Ford Motor Company, Active, Kettering University, MCA Foundation, and DTE. So everybody getting in the right position as we get set to start with our first quarterfinal match of the day. So let's break down the bracket here. We start with a 1 seed versus an 8 seed.
Yep, so we've spent all Friday and this morning playing a bunch of random matches, random partners, random opponents. You basically get 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie. After 12 matches are played for each team, we have our number 1 seed. They pick their first alliance partner. We go all the way down to 8, all the way back up to 1, and now we have 3 teams per alliance, and those are your permanent alliances now for the rest of the day. So, of course, number 1, number 2, number 3, those are the favorites here going into this tournament.
So our Red Alliance consists of the Trisonics, the NC Gears, and the Hamilton Cyberhawks. Blue Alliance, RoboDogs 3D, RoboDogs, and Potential Energy. So, again, geographically, Dan, a lot of these teams are from the west side of the state. We'll be moving to the east side of the state next weekend, and everything builds to a head mid-April when we go to Saginaw Valley State.
Yep, for sure. And, I mean, from the west side of the state, we have 2 teams from the same school. So RoboDogs 3D and RoboDogs, you were not repeating yourself. Those are 2 teams out of the same school. We saw them 2 weeks ago at St. Joe where they played against each other in the quarterfinals. Now they're on the same alliance here. And also, we have 1918, who I think was a finalist a couple weeks ago. Trisonics, 4003, won that St. Joe event. And 6122, I believe, it was a week 1 event at Calvin. So we've got a lot of experience in these first 2 alliances here.
Not often that we're going to have 2 teams from the same school. That rarely happens,
yeah,
right?
No, it is unusual. There's actually a 3rd team from that school. They did not make it into the playoffs here.
So we are all set and ready to go. Again, we'll have a 15-second autonomous period, and then it'll be teleop for the following 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yep, so keep an eye on 1918 and keep an eye on 4003. They're both going to look to score multiple shots here. So they shoot, they're backing up, and they're looking to shoot again.
So Blue Alliance shooting from deep. The 244 robot, that's the RoboDogs 3D. Looking sharp early, but again, they're taking shorter shots that are worth less points.
Yep, as long as it's in the high goal, it's going to be 2 points. Anything going in that lower goal is worth 1 point. We saw 4003 reload during autonomous, but they weren't able to pull the trigger. And again, points are doubled in autonomous mode, so you want to get those shots off early if you can.
Dan, is there a general consensus or idea of what the teams try to improve on from week to week, from event to event?
Yeah, a lot of it is just dialing stuff in. Programmers sometimes get the robot, a week, couple days before their first event. So these shots, right, a lot of these robots are firing the ball using essentially a flywheel. Think of baseball pitching machine. And you've got to be able to control the speed that flywheel is spinning, as well as the angle that you're launching the ball out at, and that changes based on where you're shooting on the floor. So there's a lot of work those programmers have to do to sort of dial in those firing tables.
That RoboDogs 3D blue robot is playing a lot of defense on the NC Gears Red Alliance machine. So,
yep. And it looks like they're bouncing back and forth. They're on Allendale now, and they're going to have to play some defense. We can see 54-34, right? A pretty big lead for the number 1 seed in red. And they've got 2 of the top shooters at the event.
Blue Alliance has 2 of their robots hitting each other. Always a bad thing.
Sometimes you get some communication errors there.
Yeah. And again, looks like the Blue Alliance 244 robot, RoboDogs 3D, selling out all defense all the time. singling out that NC Gears robot.
Yep, and keep an eye on that NC Gears robot. So 1918 has what we call a swerve drive. So they have steerable wheels on all four corners of the robot. That lets them move sideways, backwards, diagonally, and they're using that pretty effectively to get around the defense right now.
And that also would make tipping a little easier, right?
Yeah, it's a little easier because your wheelbase gets a little bit narrower, but it's not too bad. If you take a look at their robot, they've got a lot of the stuff way down low. Their shooter is low to the ground, their weight stays low to the ground.
Now some machines going to the hangar zone. Red Alliance has one, that's NC Gears. Blue Alliance positioning RoboDogs 3D. Let's see what happens in the hang. Very important for Blue here to make up some points.
Yep, and 1918 can go all the way to that traversal bar, and they've done it. So that's 15 points. I think the Blue Alliance is going to be settling for lower hangs.
So Blue Alliance more aggressive in the hangar zone because they needed points. Red Alliance gets two robots up, and the 6114 robot, that's Hamilton Cyberhawks, a non-factor in the last part.
Yep, but crucially, the two red robots are higher up, or one red robot, notably 1918, is all the way up on that highest bar. We call it the traversal bar. That one's worth 15 points. Whereas on the Blue Alliance, yes, we have two teams hanging. They're 6 points for that second, that mid bar, and 4 points for the low bar. So it's almost completely canceled out by the one very high hang.
So let's go back to our replay and see the Red Alliance working efficiently and effectively.
Yep, so that was in autonomous mode. I believe we had some good shots there.
That's the end of it we just saw here.
Yep, and then here is that hang. So 1918, again, that first bar they went on, that's 6 points. Now they're on the high bar, that's 10 points. And now they're on the traversal bar, that's 15. You only get whatever you stop at, so that's 15 points, not 6 plus 10 plus 15.
Right.
But getting up to that 15-point bar is a lot of points, and that wins them the end game. And they were ahead before that, so this should be a comfortable victory for our number one seeded Alliance.
Yeah, they almost doubled the score. They're tallying it right now, so we'll get all the details. But really, cargo points won handily by the Red Alliance. So, that's certainly a good start for them. We'll have our second quarterfinal coming up in just a moment. That will feature 4 and 5 seeded alliances. Here's our numbers: 101-55. So we don't see triple digits very often in scores, but
we're gonna see more and more. But triple digits right now is a good score. And 74 points in cargo is a good score for cargo. Just looking at kind of the stats, we actually got some stats from one of the teams here. The Wirecats delivered me some stats that they've been taking all weekend, but 4003 and 1918 are two of the top 5 shooting robots here. So you expect big scores from them.
So not a ton of drama in our first quarterfinal match, but the Red Alliance and playing up to their number one seed. And here's what's coming up next with our 4 and 5 alliances going toe-to-toe. We have Marshall, East Grand Rapids, and West Iron County as the 5 alliance: Holland Christian, Academy Global, and Lee.
Yeah, and we're looking at, on that number 4 alliance, the 107 robot has been scoring well in some matches. We saw them break in a qualifying match earlier. So it's going to be a question of, which version of that robot shows up for this match.
Let's go to our Motor City Alliance 2022 feature right now.
The Motor City Alliance was formed in order to address the needs that we were seeing in the city of Detroit, where we saw lots of public schools that were working in silos and didn't have the support they needed to really excel in STEM. We have seen tremendous change in our students, particularly over the past year as the Motor City Alliance has accelerated our efforts.
Every year we get more and more involved. We do a lot of outreach. We have students working with kids one-on-one. We are starting teams, starting things like the Motor City Alliance, doing whatever we can to allow that enthusiasm that comes through that exploration and innovation to pass that on to the next generation.
Robotics helps skills like innovation and creativity by basically nurturing them. So robotics helps to build on those skills and even broaden them to the point where nothing limits your imagination or creativity.
The reason why we're able to hold a large event with 20 to 30 teams are because of the financial resources that DTE is bringing to bear. DTE is absolutely crucial into us being successful here in Michigan and here in Detroit.
Yeah, we can't thank the corporate sponsors enough, because for all the work that is done in the trenches there by these kids, there's got to be infrastructure. That means corporate support that really steps in and helps out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole program was kind of founded on having high school students work alongside mentors, right, in their field, and really get exposure to what it's like to be an engineer.
So yeah, as Dan mentioned, you know, as weeks pass, we're going to see points probably going up a little bit more, and really points for every single team. So instead of having like a 60 to 40, we should be, you know, into maybe 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah, I think we could see some more 100-point scores, or getting really close to 100 points. Number 1 is going to be our most consistent, our number 1 seed at doing that. But 2, 3, and 4 all have the firepower to get close. Probably 70, 80 points, no problem.
So with our 4 and 5 match here, this is the first quarterfinal match for these two. We have Globetrotters, Team Robotics, Lee Robotics. That's the Red Alliance. And then we flip it to the blue, which is East Grand Rapids Robotics, the Red Hot Chili Bots, and the Iron Hill Automatons.
Yep.
What's a preview of this that we can expect to see from these 6 machines?
Well, 44-53 did win their first event. They won, I think it was a week 1 event at Gull Lake. So that's going to be interesting watch to see if they have improved their robot any. And again, we talked about 107. It's also 107's first event. So they are also going to be, that's kind of why we're seeing some of that variation in their output. They haven't had that event to get polished.
Autonomous underway, and we've got the blue and red cargo balls flying. Maybe not as quickly as we thought.
This is a low score. 107 reloaded, but was not able to fire that extra ball off. Oh no, they did not grab it when they went for it.
So not a big impact as we move to Teleop. And looks like the Blue Alliance robot of 59-27, the Globetrotters, staying low.
Yep, they get a shot of 1, which is not what you really want to see. When you go out, you want to load up 2 balls and come back and shoot them both together. If you're running back and forth for just 1 ball at a time, that's going to definitely slow down what we call your cycle time. That's how long it takes from shot to shot.
Dan, as these teams are kind of strategizing, there's 3 robots on the floor for each alliance. Do they usually target one of those robots to play defense specifically?
Usually the 3rd robot on your alliance, usually the least offensively capable, will play defense. What we're seeing now, though, is 107 is playing defense. And that is the top shooter on their alliance. So we talked about them potentially having issues. I saw earlier in a match where their shooter stopped working, or actually, I think it was their intake, but they've gone to defense and they're not shooting anymore, and that's going to be bad for this number 4 seed.
Yeah. We are not trending towards a 100-point effort in this match.
You are correct.
Yeah. In fact, the Blue Alliance, actually, there's some good defense played by the Red Alliance robot, Lee Robotics. Boy, this is
it's defense on both sides right now. We are watching 59-27. Is doing a pretty good job of making some shots, but they're rushing a few. So their percentage is lower than it needs to be, especially when they're taking this long to get the ball and get in position to shoot. If you're just chucking them up there and you're hitting 50%, that's okay. But when you're being as precise as they are, they need to make sure those shots stick.
The East Grand Rapids Robotics robot, they're calling it R2 Sutu. That's the one that's been scoring points for them, but boy, this is really low scoring.
They've been going low and keeping up, so with those 1-point goals.
Right, a little bit. A couple of hangers for the Blue Alliance. The Red Hot Chili Bots are already in position. Red Alliance hasn't even moved into...
No, and essentially being tied right now, it means, it's a 1-point blue lead, so whoever wins the hanging is going to win the match. It's like 107 is stopping on the mid bar.
Well, I would say this was a defensive battle, but really it was more of offenses that were not highly functioning.
Yeah, they're going to have to take a look at the robot. Blue did just enough, I think, in this match. I think they're going to win by 1 hang, but 107 switching to defense, and they've got, again, we talked about that swerve drive earlier. Lots of teams are running that this year. 107 has it too. They're putting it to good effect here on the defensive side of the field. But, for that alliance, they need to be the shooter.
And there's the hanger zone, and you can see the Blue Alliance just struggling to kind of get in position.
Some of that too is they got to learn how to coordinate with each other, right, to get around. They managed to get to the positions they needed to get to. So that's 2 hanging robots for blue, and then we only saw 1 for red, and that's going to be the difference in the match. I think it's going to be a 6-point difference based on that hang that we just watched.
So I don't know what the over-under was going in, but it's definitely going to be the under coming out of this.
Yes. I would have probably put it at double what we saw.
And there we go, 34-28. That's a nice football score.
True.
But I don't know if that's what you want for your robotics. Let's get some reaction down in the pits as we pick it up with Kaylee Marentet. Kaylee, what do you got?
Hey guys, I'm here with Chloe from 4453 on the Blue Alliance. Chloe, that literally came down to the wire. Tell me what was going through your mind.
So it was really anxious. Our climb didn't really work as we planned. We're going to have to look at that in the pits, but our Alliance members did a great job defending and shooting the cargo for our game, and it was really a really well-played game.
What's your mentality? It was 22-22. What's your mentality to get you that extra push?
We want to win. I think that's we want to do good. We want to win. Yeah.
So you said the hang didn't go as you planned, but you guys still got it. What are you going to change?
We're going to take it to the practice field and see why our climb didn't work. We're not exactly sure why it didn't. It didn't toggle properly, but we're going to check that out.
Okay, well, congrats on the win. All right, back to you, Dan and Dan.
Kaylee, thank you. Yeah, things run a little emotionally, hot down there when your machine's not running right.
Yep. And so 4453 did hang on the mid bar, but that robot is capable of continuing up to higher and higher bars. So they got the 6 points. It was enough for the win, but they are going to have to figure out how to get up to that traversal bar for 15 points if they want to keep in this tournament.
That's one of those things where, hey, if you're the Blue Alliance, you're glad you won. You still got a lot of tweaking to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's move ahead to our 2 versus 7 seed. This is, let's go back. This is the hang that was in question here.
Yeah, you see 4453 in the foreground. They're swinging back and forth. They've got that second set of hooks up near that next bar, that high bar. But those hooks are not locking on, and they're not.
You got
moving.
hooks, use them.
Yep.
Right.
And that's what they need to figure out. So if something was not moving on those hooks or not articulating on those hooks, and if they could have got those hooks set, that's 10 points instead of 6. And if they could have done it one more time, that's 15 points instead of 6.
All right, here's our 7th seeded Blue Alliance, the MS Robots, Code Blue, and Squires Robotics. And the Red Alliance, they will bring in the Tech Vikes, BOB, Built on Brains, and Wobot.
Yep, and we saw Tech Vikes at St. Joe 2 weeks ago. I believe they finished second there. They finished as the finalist. 85 is one of the oldest teams in the state. They've been around forever, and another really good shooting robot. So we're looking at those top 2 robots on the Blue Alliance to go shooting, or on the Red Alliance, sorry, for our number 2 seed. Blue's got an uphill battle again. This is a 2 seed versus 7 seed. So we expect to see some kind of defense coming out, and if that can be effective, maybe Blue can stay in this match.
And in terms of teams doing scouting and learning more about the robots that they may be competing with versus the ones they may be competing against, is there any way to get any good background and intel on a robot until you see them on the floor here?
Sometimes you can find pictures of the robots, sometimes you can hear things, but really you're looking at what they do in the matches. You can go around and ask them in their pit what the robot's capable of, but until you see them prove it on the field, you can't rely on it.
So the cargo is in place, and we are now in our 3rd quarterfinal. 2 quarterfinal wins for an Alliance moves them into the semifinals. Judges are doing something important, I'm sure. What do we know what they're doing?
They were just, I think it was a camera person. They were making sure a camera person was not going to be in the way of the human players when the match started.
We don't want to get our guys in trouble.
Right.
So Everybody's got to be cautious, and Red Alliance with a couple of knockdown makes right away. Blue Alliance, this looks a lot more offensively productive than what we just saw.
2054 reloaded, shot again. They've actually loaded another ball, but couldn't pull the trigger on it.
Oh, the autonomous period, very kind for the Red Alliance. And we go into teleop with a Red Alliance make, Blue Alliance machine, MS Mobots, trying to get some offense going.
That's the kind of advantage we expect to see in autonomous mode for this number 2 seed. They've got 2 robots capable of doing a multi-ball where they go and pick more up.
Well, these 2 alliances have already blown way past the ones we just saw. So Red Alliance with a good lead, but Blue Alliance seeming like they're going to have the firepower to keep things interesting.
Yep, so it's interesting. We are seeing not much defense at the beginning. 8612 is now playing defense on 2054, but it took them a long time to get over there, and 2054 has already shot a couple of loads of balls.
All the robots are shaded to, from our vantage point, the left side of the field, so things a little bit clogged up. With
this is actually something to watch out for. So all the red balls went to that side of the field. Now they're more evenly distributed, so we'll see the red robots sort of coming back around to the other side. You have to go where the balls end up.
Blue Alliance, a significant deficit, but see if they can chip away at it here in the next 30 to 40 seconds. Boy, that Red Alliance, they're getting a lot of shots up, and the more shots you get up, the more likely it is they're going to go down.
Yep, for sure. And Blue putting up 3 shots to kind of close the gap a little bit, but they're just not shooting as fast right now. And the defense is gone again. 8612 was the defensive robot, and they're just nowhere near any of the red shooting robots.
Now the Red Alliance, all 3 of their robots are static.
Yep, something is wrong. Actually, the entire side of the field lost power. You can see it on the clocks. The clocks are resetting. So A05, 66, U04, that's the boot sequence. So that entire half of the field lost power. This match will probably be replayed. If they let it finish, though, and red wins, they don't have to ask for a replay, so it may stand.
I'm going to say that's a huge window opening up for the Blue Alliance. They're going to get 2 of their robots in the hangar zone and on those bars. Red Alliance, DOA, dead in the water. 3 robots, nothing's moving.
Yep, and even from that point, though, it looks like the Red Alliance is still going to be able to hang on.
So let's see if we can pick up where everything shuts down here for these 3 Red Alliance machines.
It looks normal, just fading back. That's the protected spot on the field where 2054 is. They can't get hit when they're there. And then it just stops. That's it. All 3 red robots at exactly the same time stopped working. We can see Blue is still fine. And just looking down at the field right now, we can see our FTA, Field Technical Advisor, our first technical advisor, was down with the teams on the red side, kind of explaining to them what happened. Now, because the field lost power, we can see it from up here, the entire red side went down. It wasn't the team's fault that their robot stopped working. In this case, most of the time when we see a robot stop working, it is something on the team's robot that broke.
Human error.
Yeah, but in this case, I guess it's still human error, but this time it's the field's fault.
Right.
And when the field is at fault like this, and I am conjecturing, of course, because I'm not down there, when the field's at fault like this, we get a situation where if it's impactful to the outcome of the match, we can have a replay. Now, I don't know how they're going to call it. Red was ahead going into endgame. Obviously, Red got no hangs. I don't think Blue got enough hangs to take the lead, which means, presumably, Red is going to win this match. But will we get a replay anyway? I don't know. We need to get more information.
And we'll try to get some right now from Kaylee. Kaylee, what do you got for us?
Hey, Dan. Yeah, I'm here with Carter from the Red Alliance. Tell me what's going on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So during that match, we were doing a very good job. It looks like we had 24 cargo already in the hub, high hub. So we were very impressed with how we were doing. And unfortunately, a Blue Alliance robot slammed up against our driver station wall, which is not an illegal offense. But the problem was it messed with the FMS system, which is the field management system. So it caused all of our red robots to disable. So what it's looking like is if we do not end up winning the match, even though we were all disabled, which is a possibility, we will have to replay the match, and hopefully we can just do just as good as we did the first time around. So it's very disappointing, but it's just part of the game.
All right, that's a good perspective on it. What's going to be going through your mind if you do have to redo this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just got to do what we know what we do best, do it right, and do it. Just do it to the best of our ability. And I think we can come back and do exactly what we did the first time around. But hopefully this time our robots won't get disabled.
Hopefully. All right, I'm going to send it back to you guys up right now while we're waiting on what's going on. Thank you, Carter.
All right, Carter. Yeah, lots to digest there for the Red Alliance. We've seen single robots kind of die out there individually, but not three collectively.
Yeah, yep. So, I mean, essentially, it sounds like there was a power cable that was just in a bad spot, or when it took that hit, when the driver station wall took that hit, there's a bunch of electronics right behind it, and it caused it to reboot. And when it's rebooting, the robots will not be able to communicate with the controls, and so they end up just sitting there. We can see a good look there of the referee and the FTA. They're kind of the two people who are going to make this decision, along with First Headquarters, about how they want to proceed here. Again, I think if you let a match finish, you have to, even if you have a situation where the field broke, somebody has to be impacted by that to want to replay the match. So I think Red should have the option of saying, hey, if we won, we're good with that. We don't need to replay.
Yeah, why would you risk replaying it and then losing?
Yep.
Okay, so we will get some heightened knowledge, but 6,100, that's the MS Mobots.
So there it is. You see that hit against that diamond plate wall there. Everything shook, and at that exact moment.
Is that a penalty or an infraction?
It is not. Unless you're doing something to damage the field, or you're repeatedly doing something intentionally to damage the field, you're allowed to slam into the walls. So, like, if you were chasing a ball to pick it up, that's fine. In this case, I think the driver probably got confused as to which direction they wanted to go. Probably meant to back up, and you saw them go forward at full speed instead. And it's kind of unfortunate that hit was in just the right spot to reset the field.
So it's not like bumper cars where you could just go bam, bam, bam. There may be some ramifications, but it appears maybe this time that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Unless you're repeatedly doing something that they think is dangerous, they're going to let you keep playing.
And it looks like we will not replay this match, and it will be a Red Alliance win. There's our score. It's a lot closer than it seemed like it would be, given that the Red Alliance basically, was idle for a pretty good chunk of time, but it's enough to win. We will not replay it. They'll win the first quarterfinal match between these two.
So again, if you complete a match, an alliance has to be affected by the outcome to go for a replay. They were not affected because Red won. The two alliance and Red won anyway, so they're going to keep that score. If we kind of extrapolate from this, they had 69 points. They probably had about 30 seconds left of shooting. That probably would have put them up into the 80s, almost 90, and then their hangs. I think this would have been a 100-point match if they had not gotten disconnected from the field like that.
Yeah, they were rip-roaring, ready to go, and, well, one power failure spells disaster. But they do win, and that's the way our third quarterfinal matchup ends. So we're getting set for our fourth quarterfinal. We'll go down back in the pits and rejoin Kaylee with the winning Red Alliance team.
Yeah, I'm here with Kyle from the Red Alliance. Tell me how you're feeling right now after all of that.
I'm actually feeling really good. We were disabled about a minute left in the match, but we still won. I think that really just goes to show our alliance's strength and our ability to score. I think it's looking really good for the next couple of matches, hoping to make it to the finals. So,
talking about your ability to score, you guys were really hot during the autonomous period at the beginning. How important was that for the win?
That was incredibly critical. Our alliance partners did really well, and so did we. We got our 2-ball auto, and they got their 3-ball, and I don't know what happened with the human player, but I think that auto is critical, and especially when we get to the finals, if we do, that's going to be the way that we beat them, is that through that autonomous mode. So that's really important.
All right, well, congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. Yeah, they're dialed in, they're focused, and as long as the power's still going, they should be in good shape.
That was their biggest issue in
obstacle,
match number 1.
Right? Yeah. All right, so now our fourth quarterfinal. Two teams we have not seen yet. Our number 3 alliance is the Red Alliance. Blue Alliance is number 6. Wired Cats, Turbulence, and Red Arrows for the Red Alliance. Blue is Team Chaos, Robotarians, and the Counter Torque Robotics.
Yep, 56-75, the Wired Cats won an earlier event. They actually won Gull Lake together with 4453, who we saw playing just a little bit ago. And, you know, they are another one. They might be one of the best, possibly the best high goal shooter here at this event, based purely on the statistics. So it's hard to compare directly because sometimes you have defense played against you, sometimes you don't. But in terms of raw balls scored in the high goal during the qualification matches here, they are number 1 or number 2.
So they're prepping the field for our 4th quarterfinal match. And again, 2 quarterfinal match wins puts you in the semifinals. So we'll keep weaving our way through the field, and so far, double check the higher seeds. Well, the 5th seed, the Blue Alliance, did win, but a close call in the match against the Red Alliance. So that's kind of the question mark now, but the 1 and 2 seeds have looked very strong. Yeah, for sure. And 1 and 2 are the favorites to win the event. Number 3 here, we're going to see, right? They have a great shooter on this robot. 5610, I believe, goes low goal. We'll see if actually they switch to playing defense or if they keep scoring in the low goal. And on blue, we're going to watch 2959. That's the Robotarians, and 74. Those are the auto mode robots that we want to keep an eye on for blue. So they're both going to shoot, and they're lined up to back straight up, pick up another ball, and see if they can get a second shot off. Yeah, this is the team that's got the one player at home that's, you know, 56, 75. Yeah, that's, remember that story we had that a couple weeks ago with the Wildcats.
Yeah, so 56, 75, it's actually interesting because we go around when we get to these events and see if we can get any scouting info from the teams. We went and talked to them. We were directed to them by somebody else. We got there and they said our lead scout's at home. So their lead scout is actually at home compiling the data that his teammates are taking here live. So despite being homesick, he's still doing his best to support the team.
That's dedication.
Yeah, absolutely.
He or she would have every reason to just kind of sit this one out, but instead there's always a way to contribute, I suppose.
Yep, and we do have, we have their numbers. So when you hear me referencing stuff, when I tell you that, 56-75 was averaging 14.67 high goals or points in the high goal during the tournament, that comes from them.
So everyone trying to keep everybody fired up and revved up. We got thumbs up from the Red Alliance pits. Blue Alliance is just about ready to roll out this 4th quarterfinal match. And we start the autonomous period.
All right, so quick missed shot by blue.
Red Alliance gets a lot of shots up very quickly.
And 56-75 coming back and getting more shots after the reload. And that's a big lead, 22-14.
Teleop period beginning. Little bit of work for the Blue Alliance to do, and they go on defense right now. The 65-68 counter torque robotics right on top of that Wildcats machine for the Red Alliance.
Yeah, and you might be seeing 74, for example, just picked up a red ball and a blue ball. It's legal. You can pick up either color ball. You can just only hold 2 at a time. So you can actually collect the other team's balls and hold on to them to lower their supply. You can also take the other team's balls and shoot them off into corners to make it harder for them to go and collect.
Little keep away strategy. All kinds of different strategical concepts here, and looks like Blue Alliance hanging in, only a 10-point deficit here, but still lots of time for the Red Alliance to make a push back.
32-34 is not moving. They kind of backed up there to shoot. They sat there for a while, and it looks like they just reconnected. So we'll see if they can start contributing again.
A quick blip for the Red Alliance, and still nursing a modest lead of about 10 points. Blue Alliance hanging in and making this very interesting.
56-10 is trying to play defense. It's hard against this kind of alliance on blue, where you have 3 robots that are all about equivalent shooters. So there's no one superstar that you wanna sit on. Meanwhile, right, the Wildcats 56-75 are kind of keeping up single-handedly in that high goal while their partner was rebooting.
Red Alliance with all 3 of their robots in one spot. And not sure, but it looks like one of them's going to go hang right now with a lot of time left. So that process is beginning. The Blue Alliance already has 2, so an early jump as we move into the hanger zone.
Right, we want to see how high these blue robots can get here. They're both on the high bar right now, so that's 20 points. And they're both trying to get hooked onto that traversal bar. And if they can, that gives them a shot at coming back here. And one of them is up.
Red Alliance needs some hanger zone points. Blue Alliance has all 3 of their robots in position. Red Alliance, not so much. And they're going to come up short. And if hanger zone points are big, this would be a Blue Alliance win in this quarterfinal.
Yeah, so it looks like Red got 1 on the high bar, but Blue has 1 on the mid, high, and traversal bar. So the high bars are going to cancel out. Traversal bar's 15, mid bar's 6. That's a 21-point swing I think we're going to see. And I think Red was up by 10. So they might have just stolen this one in the end game.
Red Alliance started well, but did not finish strong. And as they tally up the hanger zone points, we'll see if that will flip the scoreboard. It is a Blue Alliance win, which is an upset, a 6 seed beating a 3 seed.
Yeah, big upset, big upset. And we need to see from this Red Alliance, 56-75, they're out there, they're looking at their robot. I wonder if something went wrong. If they're going to go that late to hang, they've got to make more shots before they do that.
So let's see the hang here. This is where everything goes right for the Blue Alliance.
Actually, not everything went right. Well, 74 gets up to the traversal bar. 65-88, though, did not. So there's actually another 5 points there for this alliance if they can execute just a little bit better.
And here's the struggles for the Red Alliance, conversely.
Yep, 32-34 there. They kind of hit the wall, stopped moving for a bit. I think that was a reboot. Either the radio or their computer, their Robo-Rio inside the robot was rebooting, so they were out for a little bit, came back. But those points were missed, or that time was missed when they weren't shooting, weren't playing defense.
Downstairs we go. Let's reconnect with Kaylee Marintet.
Hey guys, I'm here with Brian from the Red Alliance, and he's got kind of a unique situation here. I understand you have a teammate at home, Sebastian, who's helping you guys. Tell me a little bit about what he's doing.
Yeah, so for the past 2 years, he's been designing a way of data collection. So we've had people in our stands following each robot, and he's able to put these all together for before matches, and we can figure out who we want to play defense on, who we want to attack, and he gets over hundreds and hundreds of entries that he does. He works on it all alone. He gets it all in, and it's been really beneficial for our matches, and we've won a lot of them just because of him and getting that in.
That's impressive. Just to let you know at home, Sebastian is at home sick, right?
Yeah, so he's been out the last tournament, so he still really wants to be committed to the team, and he's helping out a lot.
How does it make you feel that your teammates are giving this 110%, even from home, while they're sick?
Yeah, I mean, I will say it does give us motivation. The fact that we can still get all this data, even though, he's at home, it's been really helping us out, too, so we're really glad he's able to participate still, and yeah.
Do you guys almost feel like you have an upper hand? I mean, he has been benefiting you a lot.
Yeah, so I'd say for the past few matches, a lot of teams have been coming to us asking, hey, what do we do? What should we do based on what we have? So it's really giving us, I'd say, upper hand. I know a lot of teams, like their eyes and their jaws drop wide open just because they see the amount of stuff we have and they're able to just, they really benefit from that.
Very impressive. All right, well, thanks for your time. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Kaylee. Yeah, I don't see anybody on these other teams raising their hand going, hey, okay, I'll go home. No, they want to be here.
Yeah. And I mean, I saw their scouting sheets as well. So they actually will take the 6 teams in a match, pull all the data from their history at this event, put that into the match. They can kind of predict even, what they think the final score is going to be, who's going to come out on top. And you can use that, right? Because if you're going into a match and it looks like you're the favorite, then just play your strategy, make the other team make adjustments. If you go into a match and it looks like you're about to get blown out, well, now you got to try something, right? You got to mix it up.
So now it's our 5th quarterfinal. And if a Red Alliance win happens, now they'll be in the semifinals. And they had the biggest splash in the first quarterfinal matches with a 101 score.
Yep, 101-55. So that's our high score of the event so far.
Blue Alliance probably says, hey, 55, that might have won us. One of the other ones.
Yep. And it's hard to compare, right? Because sometimes you'll have defensive strategies versus offensive strategies. But of course, in the case of our 4 versus 5 matchup, it looked like they were just robots not doing what they needed to be doing.
So Granville, and Bear Lake, again with the two Robo-Dogs robots from the same school. And then Potential Energy for Blue Alliance. But number 1 seeded Red Alliance, Trisonics, NC Gears, and Hamilton Cyberhawks. And away we go. Both teams firing early and scoring early.
Yep, 4003 has already shot 3 times. They're going for 2 more balls.
That's the Trisonics for the Red Alliance.
They're shooting them this time, so they did not get those shots off last time. This time they did, so they're even farther ahead after auto mode.
Another big score, though, 36 points in autonomous. Now we'll see how the Blue Alliance will try to make up some of that difference.
Yep, and we'll see if anybody moves over to defense again. It's not looking like it. Right now, it's 6 robots all trying to score.
Everybody going right for that high hub. The upper hub, excuse me.
Yeah, I think this is a tough decision to make. I'm not sure which robot Blue would shift to defense, but right now, 1918 is probably shooting 2 for 1 against 244 here.
Red Alliance building up the lead to 20-plus points. Looks like everyone's really going for that upper hub, which, of course, 2 points is more effective. Boy, Red Alliance is just very effective.
Yep, and we do a 61-14 playing a little bit of defense. It's not super impactful right now, but really the story is 1918 is good defense there by 244. Was able to hit 4003, make them miss a few shots, but the defense has been a little bit too sporadic for Blue thus far.
And it's indicated on the scoreboard with a 72-39 lead here, as the Red Alliance adding their lead point by point.
And it's important to note the Red Alliance has the advantage in the end game as well.
So still time, but there is a whole bunch of points for this Blue Alliance to make up before they get to the hanging period.
It looks like we saw a penalty called on Blue as well. I didn't see exactly what it was for, but we'll see that might be another 4 points for the Red Alliance.
Time to hang for both of these alliances. Red Alliance gets 1 in quickly. That's the NC Gears.
Yep.
Ditto for Blue Alliance. Their machine, Robo-Dogs 3D, trying to get hang time.
Yep, and they're up, but the difference is it's a mid bar for 6 points versus a traversal bar for 15. 1918 is all the way up on that highest bar there.
And the Red Alliance Trisonics. There's a good hang effort. Not sure if that third Blue robot's going to be hanging, but at least these 2 Red Alliance robots are successfully off the ground.
I do not think they were off the ground. All right, so here's that autonomous mode. You can see 1918 getting a couple shots off, but in the top of our screen, 4003 shot twice, drove off our screen, is reloading on balls. They come back on, and they shoot 2 more times. So they fired, I think, 5 balls in that auto mode, at least 4.
And here's the hang. This is the NC Gears robot. Boy, that is a very efficient
it's such a
transition.
Cool mechanism.
Look at that.
Just rotating around. And what's even more, you can see the drivers have the experience to play that swing. They have to wait for it to swing up and hit the bar, and that's when they grab on. So a lot of teams are trying to do something similar, but they'll miss that grab, and so they'll kind of be swinging back and forth for a bit.
So I'm not sure if we're going to get 100 points out of the Red Alliance, but they're awfully close. And we will tally up the points. If the Red Alliance win is what we have, they'll be moving into the Red Alliance now. Okay, under review. Let's define exactly what that entails.
So what we see on the in-screen board here is a yellow marker that says match under review. That means the referee, the head ref, hit a button that says they want to talk about something before they post the final scores. Now that could be very impactful, but generally speaking, it is not. Chances are they were just discussing 1 penalty or 2 penalties and deciding, how to call those penalties. And we can see there were actually 3 penalties called in that match.
Well, the good news is the Blue Alliance improved significantly in that last quarterfinal match. Bad news is it's probably not going to be enough to get them a win. And in fact, the Red Alliance probably bumped up their score from their first outing. So that is very significant. This was the first match.
Yep, first match was
101-55. So that was how things started. That was our first quarterfinal match. So again, you saw a dominant performance by the Red Alliance already there. the second quarterfinal match, which is the 5th of 8 quarterfinal matches. We'll update that in a moment. Let's go back downstairs to Kaylee.
I'm here with Owen from the Blue Alliance from 288. Not the outcome you were hoping for. What are you going to take from this and take it into the future?
Something we kind of really want to make sure we do later on is just make sure we're double checking everything before every match. We had some stuff that didn't really go quite our way. We did pretty good. We did solid. Just a few things like our hang kind of fell off a little bit, so we want to make sure we double check stuff like that for every match so we can do better.
What was going through your mind that match? I know you guys had you were following along. I mean, there was a big gap in that. You guys did come back at the end. What was going through your mind?
Mostly, I'm the driver. I was mostly listening to my drive coach, kind of zoned in on making sure we're grabbing the cargo and scoring it up high. We really wanted to make sure we can get past the deficit for our opponent because they can climb pretty high and get a lot of points from that. We just wanted to make sure we were kind of coming back and scoring more balls than they could.
Okay, gotcha. What do you have to tell your teammates right now?
Mostly that proud of them. We did really good. We did great this tournament. We're really proud of how we came through with a lot of stuff. We are just greatly appreciative in how well everyone did.
What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge of the day?
Probably just getting that climb working with everyone else. It's really hard to make sure we fit and get our points away from everyone. A lot of people can climb higher than we can. We're pretty quick with it, but we want to make sure when we're against an opponent, a big challenge for us is making sure we can come back from their points from climbing.
What went right, though? Obviously, something did go right. Tell us about it.
Shooting for us mostly. We were really good at shooting. We did do all right with climbing as well, but shooting's just been great for us so far. We did great with shooting, making sure it's consistent and everything.
All right, thanks, Owen. We're going to send it back to you guys.
All right, Kelly, thank you. We are in the midst of a 6-minute timeout. Can you explain why this is happening?
Yeah, so what happened is one of the teams that are going to be playing in the next match is still working on their robot. If I had to guess, right, that would be 107. 107 had their robot not working in the first match, but it might be one of their alliance partners as well. And essentially every alliance gets one timeout that they can call at some point in time during these elimination round matches. That gives them 6 extra minutes to work on their robot. And also, just to update everybody watching, the second match between Alliance 1 and 8 was an Alliance 1 win, 116-80. So it was really interesting. We saw our number 8 seeded Alliance say, hey, look, defense didn't work. Let's just try all scoring offense. That didn't work either, but they did put up a very respectable 80 points.
Well, okay, so we'll kind of take a breath, take a break here. We'll connect now with Kaylee Marentet, who spoke earlier today with the Dean of the Grand Valley State Engineering School.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Paul. He's the Dean of Engineering and Computing here at GVSU. Tell me how excited you are, first of all, to be here today.
Oh, it is so amazing to be back live, face-to-face again, even though we're covered. But
yeah.
No, the difference, the energy level, bringing it back, it's amazing.
It feels like people have been waiting for this for 2 years.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so I understand that you have a field here at GVSU. Tell me, why did you decide to invest in that?
So we've been very involved in FIRST for a really long time. Mm-hmm. And what I've seen over the years is that the teams during the development phase, during the build season, they need a place to practice. And most teams don't have that opportunity. And particularly the inner city teams, teams that are limited on space. So when we designed our Innovation and Design Center downtown, really convenient to everybody, we built in a K-12 outreach space to support the community. And we put in space and a field. So we have a perimeter that's there permanently. And then, of course, every year we build a new set of field elements. Mm-hmm. And we do that really, really quick, obviously, because the students need it at week 2, week 3 to start testing their robots. And there's also the college level students do a robot in 3 days. So we have 3 days to build the field so that they have a place to compete. But then every night, weekend day, we have about a half a dozen teams there tweaking the robots, making the programming work, figuring out where things are going to break. And we have machine shop on site and whatnot to support them there as well. So the competition gets more and more complicated every year. The teams need more opportunity to practice every year.
But why invest in that? You know, why give students the opportunity to have this permanently?
At Grand Valley, I spend more time with industry than I do on campus. We have cooperative education for every student, so I'm out there all the time. And the number one complaint I get, why can't you graduate 2, 4, 10 times as many students in engineering, in computer science, etc., than we are? The number one challenge is the young people have to want to do this. First is a motivator. First gets the students involved. The robot is the vehicle for excitement. It's not the end product. And we have students that come that never thought I could do this. And they get on a team and they say, oh my, this is something I can do. This is something that drives my passion. So first is a great motivator, and for us to be able to support that, I mean, a classic example. Nikki Bonzak, who was recognized this morning, she's won a past Woody Flowers winner. She met me, when she was in middle school. And today, she's running the competition.
Came a long way.
And the next generation is supporting the last generation.
Exactly. All right, thanks so much for your time, Paul, and we're going to send it back to you.
All right, guys, thank you. Good insight. Boy, lots of positive energy. And you know what? The people, and, you know, Dan, you can speak to this directly. You've been, you know, a leader, a mentor. When the proteges start taking over, you know, ownership and becoming mentors of their own, that's the synergy that really just makes this whole concept of FIRST in robotics bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. I mean, I think we've watched the changing of the guard in terms of, you know, teams that become that elite level team. Just as new mentors come in, build up new programs, you know, our favorites are shifting. Some of the old veteran teams that have been around forever that used to win everything now are having a little bit harder time as some of these new young guns come up.
Yeah, complacency is, well, it's not really rewarded in anything, but certainly not in robotics. And yeah, we just love the competitive aspect. So we're going to move to our 6th. So now, recap. Our Red Alliance had now, from this previous match, with 2 wins, 100 points plus in each match, so they're moving into the semifinals.
Yeah, that number 1 seeded alliance.
Yeah, that was not a shocker.
Not at all.
No, 100 points plus in the 2 outings. Now, we go to quarterfinal 7, quarterfinal 6, which will feature the 4 and 5 alliance. The 5 alliance won the last one. There were not many points at all scored, though, so there's work to do on both ends.
Yeah, 28-34, just kind of squeaking out a win by that 1 extra hang. You know, this is anybody's match here. We saw 107 not shooting the way they needed to be shooting. We can also see them huddled around a robot down there, and that's not their robot. So maybe that timeout was not called for them. It looks like they're really working at the last second to get that other robot working.
Let's go in the pits and get a quick update from Kaylee.
Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, I'm here with some teammates around. We're just kind of waiting to see what's going on. I'm here with Trisonics from the Red Alliance. Tell me how you're feeling so far today.
Oh, we're feeling pretty great. Our last competition, we had some problems with backspin, but since then we were able to fix that a lot, so we've been able to get a lot better and more accurate shooting, and we've been really proud of that.
So I know you guys were in St. Joe's 2 weeks ago. Tell me what you've taken from that weekend into this weekend.
Yeah, so like the backspin problem, we realized that we had not enough friction, and so our balls would shoot, and then when they hit the plastic of the cone at the top of the hive, they would just bounce right back out. And that gave us, that like reduced a lot of the points that we earned. And so to reduce that, we added another wheel at the top that spins the opposite direction of our motor wheels that shoots the ball. And because of that, we were able to reduce the backspin by a whole lot, and then that has given us a lot more points, and we've been making some high scores.
How do you think today has been going so far? I mean, obviously a lot of progress.
Yeah, we've been so stoked today. I mean, it's been really exciting, and we've had a couple little mess ups. We had balls get stuck a couple times, but we figured out how to fix that, so that was really good.
Sounds good. All right, we're going to send it back to you, Dan and Dan.
Thanks, guys. Good insight from the pits, and yeah. So let's talk about who's doing what in this coming match to their respective robots, because obviously there's a lot of room to improve.
Yeah, you know, we're going to watch 107 here in auto mode. and just after the transition. They need to be shooting way more balls in the high goal, and they're capable of it. Meanwhile, from blue, we're going to see which robot, if any, decides to go and play defense.
So Blue Alliance getting shots up early. Red Alliance not quite as quickly.
Good shot by the blue human player who sank his ball. So the human players start with one ball. They can throw that in auto mode. Blue hit theirs for an extra 4 points.
Kind of a soft, autonomous period for the Red Alliance, and they're the ones that have to win to keep competing here. Otherwise, the Blue Alliance moves to the semis.
And 107 was able to collect some balls and shoot. They missed one, made one. That's a good sign for them, though, looking forward in this match.
So a good pushback there by the Red Alliance. And this was an even match in their first get-together. This time, Red Alliance has got to catch up a little bit, down 10 points.
Good defense by 77-68 there. They caused 107 to make one, miss one. A good push there as they were trying to release.
The East Grand Rapids Robotics machine, R2-Su2, breaks away to pick up a couple of cargo balls and see if they can go high or low. They're going to go for the lower hub.
Yeah, and those 1 points can make a difference. I mean, you can see Blue's kind of holding on to the lead. If Red can get loaded again, though, and unload, then they can close this gap quickly with the 2-pointers. But look at where all the red balls are on the field. They're on the blue side. There are 5 of them I can see kind of buried in the blue hanging area back there. And those balls are all really hard to get. You got to think about the sight lines from the driver. To look across the field through the hub to see those balls is hard. And there's now 7 balls on the blue side of the field. There's only 11 balls in total, so Red has to now come into kind of this hard-to-see area.
Red Alliance with a couple of makes, but boy, the cargo ball's not flying quite as much as we would expect, so we're going to have another low-scoring outing. Better than the last time, but still not quite up to that 100-point mark that was set that we saw in the previous match with the #1 seed.
Yep, and that's only 1 of 3 from 107 there. They needed kind of those extra points to close the gap. It's going to come down to the hangs again.
Blue Alliance all over the hanger zone, trying to get those machines hung in the air. Red Alliance has 2 of their 3, but the 72-34 robot, that's Lee Robotics, struggling to gain position. They won't. In the Blue Alliance, we can see 2 of them are clean hangs, but 59-80, not so much.
Right, and here's the thing, looking at this shot right here, if 44-53 is touching 59-80, they'll be ruled to be supported by 59-80. They'll lose their hang for that. So you can only be supported by the bar, and in this case, it looks like they're touching. It looks like they'll probably lose that hang.
Well, I knew I should have brought my binoculars. I didn't. Yeah, that's pretty much looks like contact to me. Let's see how this unfolded with the 44-53 Red Hot Chili Bots. So far, so good. This is where things kind of went south.
Yep, and 44-53, if they could have gotten that extra hook on and gone to the traversal bar, the even higher up bar, it would have helped them. But here, they're up in the air briefly, but again, hangs are scored 5 seconds after the clock hits 0. And when the clock hits 0, 59-80 is touching the ground, and they're touching their partner, 44-53. And that's a big deal. That might have swung the outcome of this match.
Yeah, we're not going to have a lot of points here, but we're going to jump into this scoreboard. It is a Red Alliance win. That will force a kind of winner-take-all, another quarterfinal here. So the winner of that one will move into the semifinals, but these 2 alliances will go head-to-head together again.
Yep, and you can see the hanger points, right? As we kind of guessed, only 6 hanger points for Blue. That means it was negated. They only got credit for the 1 hang. And on the red side, they're up to 16. So,
yeah, intense excitement in the pits. Everybody's revved up. And yeah, let's take that downstairs and reconnect with Kaylee Marentet.
Hey, I'm here with James from 107 Red Alliance. Obviously, people are really excited. How are you feeling after that?
Well, it's just a really invigorating feel for our whole alliance. We really worked really hard since that last last quarterfinal match where we lost 59-27. Their climber broke right before the match, unfortunately. We've been working with them. Our whole alliance has been with 59-27 trying to fix their robot. And it really feels great to see our work pay off. We had to call a timeout. It was a really low point for the alliance, but we overpowered through it. We're hoping to come back here in this the rubber match and hopefully get a win.
I saw y'all jumping over there, so excited. Tell me about that celebration.
Well, I mean, we thought we didn't have it. We looked over there and we saw a robot on the high rung. We're like, we're done. But then we realized that 44-53, the Red Hot Chili Bot machine, they were touching another robot, so they didn't get those climb points. And we thought we had a chance, and it turned out we did. So it was a really great moment for our alliance, and hopefully we can share it again in a half an hour.
All right, sounds good. And congrats on the win. Back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, be careful down there. I didn't know body slamming was going to be a factor, at least for that Red Alliance team. But, yeah.
Yeah, so Blue needed both of those hangs.
You thought the machines beat on each other.
Well, yeah, right.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so Blue needed both of those hangs to win.
Yes.
Sometimes, though, you're up by enough that the one hang is good, and the smart play sometimes is actually to get your partner to just stay out of the way and not take that risk.
Right.
But this time they had to go for the risk, so that was a smart play, just didn't work out for them.
All right, so that will leave some unsettled business. We'll move into our 7th quarterfinal match, which will feature the 2nd-seeded Red Alliance against the 7th-seeded Blue Alliance. Red Alliance with the advantage in that 69-56 win earlier. So we have the Tech Bikes built on brains and Robot in the Red Alliance group.
And that's the Alliance. Remember, they were shut down. All 3 robots disconnected. So they scored 69 points, but that is not indicative of what we will be seeing from them if everything goes well.
So here's the 7th-seeded Blue Alliance, MS Mobots, Code Blue, and Squires Robotics from their respective high schools. So Red Alliance, you got to feel pretty good. Keep the power on, and your strategy and your philosophical concept all was in place that time.
Yep, so no change from Red. The question is, what can Blue do? And 86-12 just took off into the corner of the field in auto mode. I don't know if that was a mistake or not. They did get the taxi points, though.
Red Alliance going upper hub with their cargo to get 30 points in the autonomous period. That's a good start. Blue Alliance now, again, will have to really rev it up, and they'll have to do it hoping that Red Alliance, well, maybe they'll have another power failure, but they got to earn it on their own.
Yeah, and 86-12 was the defensive robot. It's taken them a long time to get back from that auto mode. They were struggling a little bit to get clear of the truss in the hanging section, and now, they're late on these hits. 2054 did a good job of kind of parking against the sidewall of the field to brace themselves and made 2 shots through the defense.
Squires Robotics for the Blue Alliance, all in the face of that Tech Bikes Red Alliance robot. So good defense. That forces kind of a long distance fire to the upper hub for the cargo for the Red Alliance. They're leading by 20 plus points right now.
And 85 is doing a great job playing completely free. Now, look at the field again. Where are all the red balls? There's like 4 of them hiding behind the hub that I don't even think the red drivers can see. There's 4 more deep on the blue side. So this match is kind of not where red wants the balls to be.
Yeah.
You can see them there. Look at that. There's 5 balls, and you can't see those. Where the red drivers are, those balls might as well be invisible. And
that's tough.
Yeah, so they're playing kind of short on a bunch of balls. If Blue knew this, if Blue sees this, they could try to pick up the other red balls and maybe stop scoring completely from the Red Alliance. But they need to keep enough robots free to close the gap, and they're down 30 points right now.
Yeah, Blue Alliance still with a lot of work to do, so we'll see if the Red Alliance, they're going to just go right to the hangar zone and try and get to some points there, a little insurance. Blue Alliance not ready to go there yet. We've got 1 red robot, 2054, that's the Tech Bikes.
Yep, traversal bar, that's 15 points for them. They've been one of the best teams here at doing that. They're pretty automatic.
MS Mobots has hung successfully. 1 blue robot has not. That's the Squires Robotics. Look at that. Trifecta.
Yep, so that's a mid, a high, and a traversal. We are looking at 31 points there. I think that's going to get them close, but not quite over 100. Meanwhile, 2 blue hanging robots, 6 points apiece. 86-12, not able to get hanging there.
Well, even if they're just shy of 100, that's still much better than the way their previous quarterfinal match went, and that is going to probably put them right into the semifinals.
But interestingly, they scored more before the hanging in that other match where they all died. And I think it comes down to where those balls are falling. So hopefully somebody on that alliance is watching where those balls are ending up when the hub spits them back on the field.
So basically, it's just a matter of pulling those 2 components together.
Yep. Yeah, so 2054 going up early here, and then we can see kind of in the back 85 making that transition to the high bar. Again, as you move up from that mid bar to the high bar, you're going from 6 points to 10 points. So a great move by them.
So our number 2 seed is going to advance. There's the 5, 6 Red Alliance balls.
Right, and again, I can't stress this enough. Those balls are invisible to the drivers. Now, they do have a human player on the other side of the field, and the fans watching, the rest of their team that's watching from the stands, should see that, should relay that information to the drive team so the drive team can make adjustments to look for that.
That's where you need that guy home on the couch to be game planning
if
for
he's
you,
watching
right?
the webcast, right? And that's critical. And we've seen now a few matches where all of the balls have started to go towards the blue side. And I wonder, if the randomness is just being unkind, or, if there is some field bias dumping the balls off towards the blue side. Either way, you've got to make an adjustment if that's what you're seeing.
All right, so it's a 97-50 win for the Red Alliance. They are into the semifinals. Downstairs we go to Kaylee.
I'm here with Carter from the Red Alliance. Obviously a good win, but you had some about 4 or 5 balls that were hidden behind, in the middle. Tell me how you fixed that, or how are you going to fix that in the future?
They were hitting what?
They were hitting. They were hidden behind there, and you guys couldn't really see them a whole lot.
Oh yeah, so absolutely. So our plan is we have a human player on the other end of the field. She throws up some signals from the other side to our drive coach, and she will communicate with us where the cargo is. See, at that time I didn't know where it was. So the problem is the drive coach may not have been communicating loud enough because of how loud the crowd is, and that's just something to expect in elimination matches. So that's something I'll just communicate. She needs to be closer into my ear and Kyle's ear so we can work on getting those cargo, because that would have been beneficial. I mean, obviously still it's a fantastic match, 24 cargo, all robots hung. So I'm incredibly proud of our alliance so far and can't wait to keep going to semifinals and hopefully the finals.
Okay, so I got to ask about the Twizzlers in your pocket. Tell me about
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Yep, so basically the Twizzler, we have a superstition on our team. It's been going on for like 25 years or something. Basically, you have to put it in our pen pocket here at the beginning of a competition, and if we win a match, we keep the Twizzler. If we lose a match, we eat it, or if you don't like it, you stomp on it and make somebody else eat it. But then if you continue winning and winning and winning, or sometimes if you do good but you lost, you still keep it. I guess it's kind of like a good juju, bad juju type of deal. So this is only our second Twizzler of this competition, so we're feeling good.
Any idea why Twizzlers?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Oh, no, I can tell you. It was the drive coach. She likes Twizzlers a lot, so then she would always have one just ready to go after she would lose, just so she could eat it because
cheer yourself up.
Yeah. So then it kind of turned into a good luck type of deal.
All right, sounds good. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
We're going to send it back to you, Dan.
All right, Kaylee, I'm going to take a leap of faith here and hope that he may have misspoke, because I don't think anybody's eating stepped-on Twizzlers.
I mean, if it's going to help your team win the next match.
That's dedication. Anyway, all right, we'll leave it there for now. We've got a break here in Allendale. Everybody's dancing, having a big time. We'll come back with more quarterfinal action in this Michigan First Robotics West Michigan District event.
Take your mark.
How was practice?
It was really fun.
Fun, okay.
We did relay track.
What do you want for dinner tonight?
We tacos.
I've got to run by the grocery store to pick some things up before.
next time.
It is senior year. They still have 2 more weeks.
Sorry.
We are back in Allendale and still in a timeout, but one of the great things is having the opportunity to kind of go behind the scenes, talk to some people that normally don't get a lot of attention in FaceTime. One of them, a high voltage electrical technician who spoke earlier with Kaylee Marentet.
What does it take to create a more sustainable future of mobility? What does it take to build a future with 0 traffic fatalities and 0 emissions? Aptiv is uniquely positioned to answer those questions, situated at the intersection of the safe, green, and connected megatrends transforming the automotive industry. Sustainability is in our DNA. We are taking on some of society's toughest challenges with innovations that combat climate change, save lives, and improve the way the world moves. With both the brain and the nervous system of the vehicle, Aptiv Solutions optimize electric vehicle architecture, making intelligent design trade-offs that reduce cost, weight, and mass, allowing for faster democratization of technologies that reduce CO2 emissions and reduce traffic accidents and fatalities. Aptiv not only leads the industry in high-voltage component innovations, from chargers and inlets to power converters and battery disconnect units, but also in process automation, miniaturization, and manufacturing excellence. Through Aptiv's smart vehicle architecture, we see the vehicle as a complete system, enabling an efficient and accelerated path to the electrified, software-defined vehicle. Sustainability is also in the way we operate. Aptiv is committed to having its operations in 44 countries, powered by 100% renewable energy by 2030, and becoming fully carbon neutral by 2040. With our full system solutions, innovative spirit, and unmatched global capabilities, Aptiv is the customer's partner of choice to bring the future of mobility to life.
So the timeout has ended. We're about set for another quarterfinal showdown. This is a Blue Alliance in a power position over a Red Alliance, the 6th seed over the number 3 seed in the first match, 69-58. It was close. What changes is Red Alliance contemplating making for this one, Dan?
Yeah, one thing we got to watch is 32-34. Did lose connection for a bit, lost power to their robot. It came back, but they were down a shooter for part of that match. And the other thing we're going to watch is coming on the field just right this moment is 56-75, as well as 29-59 is kind of readjusting their robot. But 56-75 is coming very, very late to the field, so the timeout was probably called for them. We saw them gathered around their robot when they missed the hang at the end of the first quarterfinal match. So we're going to need to watch and see if they're able to hang or if that robot is fully functional. And that is sort of like the star shooting robot on this Red Alliance. So if they're not working, it's going to be a really, really tough battle.
Yeah, at this point of the year, you kind of have to know what your expectations are from each of your robots and how well they'll deliver on those expectations in a specific match, right?
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things as a strategist is It's really common for teams to kind of get those rose-colored glasses where they see their robot and all the good things it does, but forget the times where it didn't work right. And honestly, accurately assessing the capability of every robot on your alliance and crafting your strategy around that instead of what you hope they can do will lead to more, more victories.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you don't know how the other team's going to try to position themselves against what your robots do well. So,
yeah, which is one more layer to that scouting, is knowing, how much you expect your opponents to score, which robot you expect to come on defense. You even look for trends too, like how do they like to play defense? If they're always trying to stay inside, maybe you fade back and shoot from the wall or one of the protected zones. If they chase you around, then going in right next to the hub and getting pinned in there, it's really hard for the defense to do anything.
So this is one of the rare upsets when these two alliances met earlier. It was close, but a 69-58 win for the Blue Alliance, which is Team Chaos, the Robotarians, and Counter Torque Robotics.
And 56-10 again was the highest seed, was the third seeded robot here. They're actually a low goal robot that seeded that high, and so that might have some effect on how they have to play this match.
Autonomous period beginning. Both teams fairly productive.
He's got a bunch of extra shots though. 29-59 got a second shot, 74 got a second shot, and I think their human player hit again.
So a 10-point lead after the autonomous period for the Blue Alliance. A Blue Alliance win moves them into the semifinals. And they get a couple of makes there. The 29-59 robot from the Robotarians from Coloma.
And a little bit of a delay for 29-59 after shooting those in. This time, look at where all the blue balls are. They're all on the red side of the field. But kind of a mistake there. We had one of the red robots crossing the field actually pushed a couple of blue balls across the field to help out the Blue Alliance.
Now, ball handling with this cargo can be very, very difficult as we see the 74 blue robot Team Chaos squaring up and having it rim out. Then some good defense by the Red Alliance. That's the Wirecats machine.
32-34 is still running. They're going low shots here. And 36-75 is that's a blue ball they were kind of grabbing. They've not been shooting. They've been playing a lot more defense here. And I wonder if they were not able to fix that robot in time. Again, coming late to the field from that timeout.
Red Alliance has got to figure out a way to make up some points. We see a couple of upper hub cargo scores for the Blue Alliance.
Yep. And it's that intake on 56-75, that intake. They've got a ball. It keeps getting stuck as they try to bring it in. That one took a long time to pass through the system.
Blue Alliance gets a couple of their robots into the hangar zone early. So they're maybe thinking that a high rung or traversal rung is the way to go and get them points.
Sure, and they're up by 18, so going and securing those hangs should secure the victory.
Red Alliance on the wrong side. They'll move a couple of robots into position, and the 29-59 robot Robotarians is keeping that Red Alliance robot from getting in there.
It's because 29-59 only hangs on the mid-bar. They know they can do it fast, so they stay out on the field as late as possible, disrupting stuff. And look, they've got their hang. They got a cross, clean hang. 56-75 is staying out and trying to shoot because they have to. They know they can't make this up with a single hang. It was kind of their only way forward, but it was a long shot.
Blue Alliance is rock solid in that hangar zone. And their cushion, based on cargo scoring, is probably going to get them into the semifinals.
Yep, and we actually saw 74, I think, come off the bar and then get back on.
So the decision to go hang early is predicated on what, do you think?
Yeah, they were just up by enough points in this match. So they were up, like we said, going into endgame, it was 44-26. So they were up 18 points. 18 points is 9 shots in the upper hub. And it's going to be hard to make those 9 shots and then still have time to hang for red. So Blue's strategy was, look, if we secure our hangs, they can't catch up. So let's go early. Let's make sure we get them. And I think it pays off here because 74 had some issues on that hang, but we're still able to finish on the high bar. And good defense there from 29-59. They know how long it takes them to hang. They've practiced their high bar hang, their mid bar hang. And so they stay on the field as late as they can. because 74 was hanging back on the ground, but because they went early, 74 has time to send that hook back up and reclimb not only to the mid rung, but I think they made it up to the high rung.
So there's our final tally, and it's a Blue Alliance, the 6th seed. They are punching their ticket to get into that semifinal. They will go up against the 2nd seed overall. So there's an upset. And down to the pits we go with Kaylee.
Here with Matthew from Team 74 from the Blue Alliance. You guys were up hanging really early. Tell me a little bit about your game plan.
Okay, so we decided we need to hang early because our bot is pretty good at hanging. We have a traversal climb, which is 15 points, which is a lot. But then it fell off while we were reaching for traversal, and we still had time to get back on and go for high, which I believe counted, which allowed us to outscore the other alliance by a lot. I think it was like 75 to 42 or something like that.
Yeah, so that was essential. Getting up and hanging early, that was in the game plan.
Yes, it was. Our bot wanted to hang early because our shooter's not the best on the alliance. So hanging is like what we can do for the alliance. It's like what works best.
What are you going to take from this match into the semis now?
I think we're going to take that. We need that bot on defense. It helped a lot. One of the opponents' climb actually didn't work because they were defense too much and they ran out of air in the pneumatic system. So if we can keep that defense going, I think we have a strong chance of beating number 2 seed Tech Bikes. And
what do you think you want to work on that you want to take into the semis?
I think we need to work on that climb more, like it fell off, which isn't ideal. And if we can get it more consistent, that means we can climb later and potentially score a few more balls during teleop.
Okay. All right, good job, and thank you so much. Rooting for you. All right, back to you guys.
All right, so we have a quarterfinal 2 tiebreaker. 3 of the 4 quarterfinal showdowns were done with just 2 matches. This one coming up is a 4 and 5 match. And again, not a lot of points in either of those 2 head-to-heads, but something's got to give here. One of these alliances is going to move into the semifinals against the number 1 seed.
Yep, and both of those matches were very, very close. 28 to 34 in the first match, and then our number 4 seed coming back 55 to 47 in the second match. So really anything can tip the balance here. I mean, those are both almost within 1 climb of being decided. So, you know, we have to watch again the iAcademy robot that is 5927 was the one they said they were working on during their timeout. They've had more time now, right? They had a whole second quarterfinal matches, 2 more quarterfinal matches being played before they had to be back out on the field here. So if that robot is improved, is fixed even more, that bodes well for the number 4 seed.
Now the other challenge too is obviously you're not looking ahead to the semifinals yet, but the number 1 seed right now, that Red Alliance that we saw in the first match so far today, they have to feel very good about what they've done. And you always wonder now, okay, so if we're going to catch them and beat them, we have to make some sizable jumps in terms of how many points we can score, because that Red Alliance with that number 1 seed overall has 100+ points in their first 2 matches. So
yep,
they are definitely the lead dog in the race here.
Now, like, yes, you're completely right, but here's the problem that our 4 and 5 seeded alliances are facing. If you won comfortably in your first quarterfinal match and you were going out for a second quarterfinal match, you can kind of throw one out there, right? You can try something weird in that match, and if you lose, come back. But the problem is it's 1-1, and both matches were razor thin. You can't really think about the semifinal match until you get there. And in this case, I don't think either alliance has really enough leeway to try anything, you know, for that purpose.
So we will let these machines get settled in as the cargo is being placed in the appropriate starting points. And that's consistent from every match to match, right?
Yeah, the balls will start in the same place every match. There are 11 balls on the field total. Each robot can start with 1 in its possession. And then we see the ring of them kind of around the hub. It's going to be the pairs of 2 all the way around there. I believe 6 pairs of 2. And then there's 1 ball with the human player and 1 ball in front of the human player to take us up the rest of the way. And again, that 1 ball that is in the human player zone, the human player is allowed to shoot in autonomous. And that was something else that I think we saw from our number 6 seed was hitting their shots. I can't remember who it was. One of them in blue was hitting a lot of shots.
The guy in the white cape, by the way, we'll call him Body Slam Guy from here on out.
Yes.
So they're going to give him a wide berth just in case the action gets really hot in the pits.
2 seconds left on the clock. You might want to step back.
Yeah. Be ready. So the players and robots getting their introductions.
And we can see, looking at the alignment of the robots, no changes. Both alliances are going with the same auto mode setup that they did before.
West Iron County, East Grand Rapids, and Marshall, that's the 5th seed here. They won the first set, lost the second set, though.
And then again, I mean, like both of them by 6 points and then by 8 points. I mean, that's...
Either way.
Yeah, either way. We'll see, Red has seemed to have more robot issues. So if they're getting on top of those robot issues, maybe our Red Alliance is the slight favorite here.
Point-wise, at least, they're both trending in the right direction as we see a couple of misfires. Now some long-distance shots.
That's who it was. It's right here. Number 5 Alliance in blue. He might be 3 for 3. He's hit that shot a lot.
And autonomous period ends. Not a big splash in scoring for either team.
Yeah, Red with a small edge. And now we're going to see. This is where we have to see something new, and that's good. 59-27 with 2 shots, 107 with 2 shots, all 4 made. If Red can keep that up, then we're going to see their potential here.
We see the 77-68 robot, the Iron Hill Automatons, playing hard defense on the Globetrotters Red Alliance machine.
Yeah, 107 is 6 for 6 right now in Teleop. That's by far the best they've shot in these playoffs.
That's Team Robotics from Holland.
8 for 8.
Wow.
That's how they have to be playing, right, to take control of these matches, and that's how they're going to have to play if they make it through to face the number 1 seed.
And the Blue Alliance a step late targeting that robot defensively. So only 11 points for the Blue Alliance. That's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see the defense finally coming across, and it does look effective, but 5980 is kind of drifting around, trying to decide where they want to go. 77-68, though, swaps into the defense, but that's a penalty. You cannot hit them when they're back against that truss. So 107 missed a shot, but drew a foul.
Red Hot Chili Bots a little bit kind of disengaged, now trying to play some defense for the Blue Alliance. Repositioning on the Lee Robotics Red Alliance machine.
Yep. And they do have a ball inside the robot, so we'll see. There it goes. But unlucky on the bounce for 44-53. We heard a little bit about that in one of the interviews. One of the main technical challenges this year is if your ball goes in with too much energy, it's got a high chance of bouncing out. So not only minimizing the arc, but also minimizing the spin.
Just like a shooter in basketball has to have kind of a soft touch.
Exactly.
And the Red Alliance has the hot touch right now, up 40 points.
Yeah, and we'll see if these hangs cancel out. We got 1 robot going early on each side, trying to get all the way up to the traversal bar.
Globetrotters going high for the Red Alliance. That's going to be some good points for them.
Yep.
Team Robotics in the same position. Blue Alliance trying to get all 3 robots hung, but we're down to 0-0, and it looks like it's a significant win for the Red Alliance.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't tell with that last blue robot, 5980. I couldn't tell if they were off the ground or not, but those 6 points probably not going to change it. 59-27 getting high. We can see a look there. They're hanging sideways. I guess if they're touching either the sidewall or the ground, it's not going to count as a climb. So I would say that one is probably not a climb. And Red with the lead. Red took a bigger lead with, so that is off the ground in that view there. So what we don't know is if it's touching the sidewall, but I think actually it's not touching the sidewall either. That may be a good climb. I changed my mind. I think that's going to be 6 points.
It's close, but it is a Red Alliance win.
Yep.
76-39. Not that close, actually, by the time you add up all the hanger points. But it was Cargo that really won it for the Red Alliance as we break the scoreboard down for this quarterfinal match.
Yep, so the hang did count. We've got 20 hanger points for blue. But Red came out ahead with 21, despite only having 2 hanging robots and a couple offsetting penalties. But really, that Cargo, 45-9. That's the first time we've seen this number 4 Alliance actually come out into teleop with what looked like both robots working, 107 and 5927, and both hitting shots. So that is good news for them as they move forward to face the number 1 seed, but 76 is still not 100 points yet.
And they've gone, if you're doing the math, Dan, they've gone from 28 Red Alliance here, 28 points to 55, now to 76. So they're trending in the right direction. Let's go down to the pits and connect with Kaylee.
Hey guys, I'm here with Micah from the Red Alliance. Tell me how you're feeling after that.
I can't even describe how much work has been put into this season, and our climber broke right before our match coming up with the Blue Alliance, and they worked so hard over the time of the first match where we knew that we were not going to be able to climb, and they got it fixed. The second match, we won. Absolutely incredible feelings just winning that. And then winning it this time with the climb that I did, it's just crazy. It's so good.
What are you going to take from this into the next round?
Momentum. I mean, they're probably scared, to be honest with you. The other climber that looks similar to ours does not function as well. Don't tell them I said that, though.
I love the confidence. So you got to tell me, I saw you chest bump somebody over there. Tell me about your celebration.
Yeah, so me and my friend Trevor, we are really, really good friends. He's the driver. He runs it around the field and stuff. So just the combination of him shooting so well, which he is doing, and me being the climber operator, and we both are just working in perfect unison, it is, we can't help but get excited, You just gotta celebrate.
We love the celebrations. Can you show us the cape?
Yeah, so it's got our right direction.
Oh yeah.
5927. Globetrotters, iClademy Global, baby.
We love it. We love to see you guys. We're gonna fly through this.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for your time. Back to you guys.
All right.
All right, we're going to send a trainer down to make sure that his teammate does not have a dislocated shoulder. Hey, you know what? We love the energy. We love the passion, and he is all plugged in. Outstanding. Yes, we will make a quick turnaround and reconnect with Kaylee and talk with one of our feature opportunities today here in Allendale.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Amy from Faith Community Christian. Tell me why you're here today, Amy.
I'm here because my son Luke is on the Squire Robotics team of Calvin Christian High School in Granville, Michigan.
Tell me how excited you are to be here.
Very excited because this is his senior year. He has really enjoyed robotics throughout his years, and today is a special day for us because he's doing what he loves.
So I know robotics helps obviously with life skills. Tell me about the skills that it helps develop in a classroom.
Right, so I'm the administrator of Faith Community Christian School in Belding, Michigan, and this year we have our inaugural robotics team, our Lego robotics team, and there are several ways that it helps out in the classroom. I think the first way is that sometimes in the classroom there are barriers in which kids can express what they know and how they know it, and robotics really helps because kids who have some of those barriers in the classroom can come into a robotics arena and a robotics world and excel and show what they know, and it's a way for them to grow and learn and have that growth mindset.
Have you seen that for yourself? Tell me about some of the students that are, involved in robotics, how they're doing in class.
Well, I've seen a new confidence in them because they have something that is part of their own identity in a way that they can come into a robotics team and offer an idea or offer a solution, and it brings confidence to them. And so that confidence definitely comes into play into the classroom because then they have more confidence sharing ideas and thoughts and plans in the classroom, especially in the writing. And so I see how robotics is just a phenomenal program for all children.
You said writing? Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Why do you think that is? I feel like that wouldn't be a skill that would maybe be perfected.
I know, right? We think math and engineering, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I say writing because it helps you formulate your ideas in order to communicate to a team. And then with those ideas, you can put those in writing, and it can translate into English language arts in the classroom.
Learn something new, I guess. I did not know that. I love that, though. All right, thanks for spending your time with us, and we're going to send it back to you.
Thank you, Kaylee. Another good feature, and yeah, lots of different ways to benefit in robotics. That's a good point. Reading and, not expected thing that we don't spend a lot of time here in reading, but, again, anything's possible here.
Yeah, I mean, communication is actually really important. Communicating ideas, like what idea do you have, what concept do you have for a robot design idea, and using words is very hard to do that. So that's a skill that if you can learn, if you can master, is going to be great. Also, drawing the worst possible drawing is still a great way to try to communicate those ideas. So I always used to encourage my team to do that.
We're going to break here in Allendale. More coming up. It's our semifinal matches. Our first seed against our 4 seed when we come back to Grand Valley State at Michigan First Robotics.
Dogs have up to 300 million smell detectors in their noses, compared to just 6 million for humans. With such sensitive noses, it's no wonder we count on them to help keep us safe at the airport, detect diseases like cancer and COVID-19, and even sniff out whale poop.
There you go.
This is Stephanie Pierce.
I don't know why they want whale poop, but okay.
Today, her team at Consumers Energy is showing us the newest sniffer vehicle they've added to their pack. Unlike our 4-legged friends, this bloodhound's nose is trained to track down natural gas emissions.
So the car works by vacuuming in air through the inlets at the front of the car, and it travels to the back of the car, and as the car drives, it matches the air, and it says, no, that's not gas, no, that's not gas, yes, we smell methane, ethane that matches your composition.
Consumers Energy's goal to be net zero by 2030 is extremely important to all of us here, and whether it be part of our routine survey, looking at pipeline that's selected for repair, or even our system that isn't selected for repair, vehicles like Picaro are going to help us reach that goal.
Being able to reduce emissions in Michigan, I can't think of anything more exciting that I want to be part of.
In a perfect world, I would love to have my colleagues be dogs. But unfortunately, we'll have to leave them at home for now and use Picaro in their place.
And away we go as we move into our first semifinal match. And we have one team that's been consistently rock steady awesome all day as we roll into the brackets. This Red Alliance of the NC Gears and the Hamilton Cyberhawks and Trisonics, they've been putting up the big splashy numbers, but this Blue Alliance is now starting to trend the right way.
Yeah, so Red Alliance, of course, has the advantage of they've got the highest 2 scores so far in the playoffs. They have another extra advantage, which is they sewed up their quarterfinal matchup in 2 matches. So they were able to sit around, have more time to prep their robots. This 4 seed that we see playing here, they played in the last match, right? So they had to go to 3 to decide it. They're rushing back out on the field. So they need to just calm down. They need to make sure that everything is set up on those robots, make sure they take a second and get on the same page for what their match strategy is going to be here. But as you said, that Blue Alliance, they've been adding about 25 points every time they go out there. So if they can add another 25 points to the 76 they put up in their last match, they're in the right neighborhood.
And Red Alliance, I guess it's just keep on doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, their auto mode is so powerful. 4003, I believe, shoots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 balls when everything works. So if that hits for them, 1918 on the other side is picking up an extra ball and shooting it. So they come into the match with a pretty big advantage, and then they're able to send a defensive robot over. Now the question is, can 6114 get on top of probably 107? 107 looked maybe the most vulnerable to defense in the last match, and slow down their scoring, because 107 at the beginning of that last match went 8 for 8.
So the machines are all placed properly and ready to get into our first semifinal. Again, it's another best of 3. So 2 semifinal wins get you into the championship match.
Yep, and again, Our number 1 seed will be in red bumpers again. The higher seeded team in the matchup is going to generally be in the red colored bumpers. So our number 4 alliance, who is in red bumpers in the quarterfinals, has switched over to blue bumpers here for the semifinals.
This team that's now the blue alliance, what would your strategy be if you were trying to slow down this red alliance that's been so good?
I think part of it is getting 107 free. We saw when they were undefended, they're able to score quite a lot quite quickly. And then the second thing, of course, is sending that third robot, 72-34. They've got to play defense. They've got to play effective defense. And I think I would put it on 4003.
Red Alliance got 4 cargo shots up right away.
Yeah, and here we see 4003 loading off screen, coming back in with 2 more balls with enough time to shoot, well, one of them.
So autonomous period in favor of the Red Alliance, not by a ton though.
No, that's not too bad. Blue can make up that deficit.
We'll see what kind of defense Blue Alliance can play. There's a couple of upper hub makes for Red Alliance.
So 6114 just did something kind of interesting. They picked up balls and spit them back to the red side of the field. So they're not playing robot on robot defense. It looked like they were playing a little bit of ball starvation defense.
Yeah. Interesting strategy.
But they are having a little bit of trouble getting around the field now. But 107 got themselves kind of into a traffic jam there, and that was not helpful either.
Blue Alliance not getting too many shots off. Now there's a couple of back-to-back high upper hub makes.
Yep.
Blue Alliance answers though with not 1, not 2, but 3.
Yeah, 4003 is getting free here. 72-34. I think they're trying to play defense on 1918 instead, but 1918 just kind of cruised to the far side of the field, and that move was not matched.
72-34 for the Blue Alliance. Struggling, that's the Lee Robotics machine. They've got a ball loaded, ready to shoot, but are not in position.
So we're seeing with both of these alliances right now that defensive robot is not being as effective as we want to see. 6114, the way they're moving almost feels like their battery maybe is low, because they're trying to turn. We see some twitching, and they're really not. I mean, they're not moving around the field well at all. Blue needs to take a little bit more advantage of that, but again, blue balls are mostly on the red side of the field, so they're having a little bit of a starvation problem here.
Red Alliance making 1 of 2 shots there, and they're still up 20-ish points here as we've got 1 Blue Alliance robot ready to hang. That's the Globetrotters, their Hummingbird robot.
72-34, though, is not moving for the Blue Alliance. They need that robot to hang or at least play some more defense here at the end of the match. But they are out. We do have the tech over in their station. It looks like maybe it's a joystick issue, maybe it's a USB issue with the computer that they're using over there.
A couple of Red Alliance robots on the hangar, in the hangar zone, and they go to 0. We don't have another 100-point performance by this Red Alliance, but looks like they've got enough to get a win here in this semifinal match.
Yeah, interestingly, 1918, who has hit that traversal bar pretty much every match we've been watching, stuck on mid, and their partner came over and joined them on the mid bar. 4003 joined them on the mid bar. And in this case, 1918 looks like they just fell off. So they're on the floor there. So that's no hang. We have 15 points in hangs for the Blue Alliance. Looks like it's probably going to be only 6 for the Red Alliance. So it is a 9-point swing for Blue. I don't think they got quite close enough, though, in Teliab.
So here's some defense that we saw early.
Yep, 59-27 getting in there. 59-27 also an offensive robot, but sometimes when you see the opportunity to switch over to defense for a little bit, it can pay off. Slowing down 4003 a little bit. So here's 72-34.
Yeah, this is where it was just kind of an unfocused.
Yeah, they're over there defending the defensive robot. That's not helping. 61-14 had their own problems. So 72-34 needed to get over by where 1918 or 4003 were. And just maybe some drivetrain issues with that robot as well. It's hard to tell.
So not a stellar outing for the Red Alliance, but we're going to keep tallying up the scores here and see what we end up with. We think it's a Red Alliance win. 54-ish cargo points. Here's the numbers. Yeah, 54 cargo points. Hangar, Red Alliance came up way short compared to Blue, but
Yeah, and I didn't see what those 8 penalty points are for. That's a lot of penalty points. Did not make the decision in this match. Did not determine the outcome here. But that's something to keep an eye on, and that usually will be on the defensive robot. So 72-34 is the robot on this number 4 seeded alliance that is going to have to find another gear when they come back out for semifinal match 2.
So there's our final tally. That's one semifinal match in the can. Let's go down to Kaylee Marintet.
Hey guys, Janelli from 72-34 here. Tell me what kind of happened. You guys lost communication at the end.
Yeah, we just lost communication. It happens sometimes. We come back from it, sometimes we don't. This time we didn't have any time to come back for it, and it's fine. We think we did good for most of the part.
What happens from here?
We just improve. We learn from our mistakes. We had very good teammates that helped us through everything, and the competition was very hard.
What do you guys think you did right in this match?
Defensively wise, we were put to play defensively, so I think we really tried to block off the shots from the other team.
All right, thanks so much, Janelli. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kaylee. So we are going into our second semifinal match. This is a 2 seed against a 6 seed.
Yep, the 6 seed was surprising kind of in the way they were playing. I like that the 29-59 robot here for the number 6 seeded alliance. They have been making shots in the high hub. They've also been switching over to defense, especially at the end of matches. And that sort of flexible play, playing kind of not as a defender or an offensive robot, but sort of a midfielder, gives you some more strategic options as the match plays out. So they're a robot to keep an eye on here. Meanwhile, from Red, of course, 2054, they've got that traversal hang, and it's their auto mode that we want to watch. 85 as well is going to look to score an extra ball in auto, but 2054 is the one that could really run up the score if their auto mode hits.
So we saw the Red Alliance build off of their first semifinal, their first quarterfinal match, 69 points. Then they go to 97. So they are in the conversation for a potential 100-point-ish outing.
Yep, I mean, they're averaging, the average what, between those two is 83 points. They did that with the 69 points in the match where all 3 robots died and no hang points. So a very, very strong alliance there. Our number 6 seed is averaging 72 though, so they're right in the neighborhood.
And we crank it up, autonomous period for 15 seconds. 2 straight makes in the upper hub for the Red Alliance, Blue Alliance. Boy, there's balls flying in there from all over the place.
Yep, 2054 did get the extra ball. The shot is pretty late, but that might still count. It has 5 seconds to get through the score, and it did.
Yeah, they both got at least almost 30 points apiece. So strong autonomous periods for both.
Yep. We'll see here, 2054 taking some time to take a really deep shot, but they do make it.
2054 machine shooting short. That's the Tech Bikes. And their robot called Tarzan.
Good defense from 141. Just kind of got in the way of 2 blue robots at the same time, causing some misses.
Well, these machines are buzzing all over the place. Very active. Couple of Red Alliance shots. One goes in and out. Blue Alliance able to knock down 1 in the upper hub with their cargo.
And we'll see here, 141 is just kind of chasing 2959 around the field here. But crucially also, take a look at 141. They're holding a blue ball. They're playing defense, and they're playing additional keep-away defense by picking up a blue ball.
That Red Alliance 85 built on brains
is disconnected. Yeah, correct. It is not moving.
That's
actually looking at that robot, I don't see a single light on that robot. I think it probably lost main power. That robot will not come back in this match, and that probably will not be a replay either. So Red's gonna have to pull this one out 2v3 the rest of the way.
Blue Alliance already going to the hang with 40 seconds left. And we'll see how the Red Alliance is impacted by this. Looks like quite a bit. And some good defense being put on there by the Robotarians for the Blue Alliance. They have 2 robots, 1 already in the air. Now another hang in process from Counter Torque Robotics. Red Alliance trying to keep up with a couple of hangs.
Yep. We'll see if the defense was enough. It looks like it was not. 2054 getting to the bar late, but is there 74 just fell off the bar again on the other side.
Wow.
And they do not have time to go back up.
That may be significant. The points in the hanger zone are going to be very critical. Red Alliance, even with the machine dead in the water, might be able to pull this out.
Yeah, they won the end game, so they've got 15 points for that traversal bar for 2054. They've got 6 more points from 141. And on the blue side, we've just got 2 mid bars, so that's 12 points. So that's an advantage of +9 for the Red Alliance in end game. All because 74 fell off the bar again, and this time they didn't have time to go back up. But that said, they needed the traversal bar because I think the Blue Alliance was behind going into the end game. They had to risk it for that traversal bar climb, and it didn't work out, and we have a red card.
So lots to unpack here.
So a red card means that the Blue Alliance, I believe, was just disqualified in that match. I think they would have lost on score anyway, but they were just issued a red card.
What do you have? What would be a reason for being disqualified?
There are a few penalties that you can get red carded for. One of them is potentially damaging contact inside an opponent robot. So it's possible that when let's see, which robot was it that
is built on brains?
Yeah, when 85 broke, it's possible that the referees saw that was caused by a Blue Alliance robot. That could potentially
So
lead
it wasn't
to
a mechanical failure.
Right. So we'll see here. We'll get another look at it. The defense being played. No, I didn't see anything there that that would be that penalty. Nope.
No, it's
bumper to bumper hits. All of that looks clean.
So the red flag means they're reviewing it, or does it mean they're taking a look at it?
So he issued the red card. Our head referee David there, you can see him with the yellow. He went over to the driver station and held the red card up. That means it was called. So our Blue Alliance was disqualified. Maybe the damaging contact was a little bit earlier.
Let's take a look and see it from a different angle.
So that could be it right there. So if that contact right there is what shut the robot off. And if you look, there's a pink spot right above the number 85. There it is. Yep, I can see it right there. That there's a pink connector that we could see just above the 85 on the bumpers. That was the main battery power connector. When that robot went up on top, it hit that connector. We could just see it. It was hiding behind the truss, but we could see it kind of move and pop free. And that's when the lights went out on the robot. So because that is considered damaging contact inside of another robot, that was issued a red card.
So the score will go down like this. It'll be a 77-point outing for red, and Blue Alliance, well, the points don't really matter. They're going to lose regardless, but still, that's another thing I've never seen before. We saw one Red Alliance had 3 robots that died all at once. Now, someone disqualified for the entire match because of that penalty.
Yep, it's relatively uncommon. The good news here, for me at least, I never like to see matches decided by penalty calls. The good news is if you look at the scores and we add up what Blue would have had, it's only 56 points. So no red card, it still would have been a red win, 77-56. So it feels a little bit better as the Blue Alliance to come away knowing that, yeah, we got the red card, that sucks. We have to be more careful in the next match because you do carry a yellow card forward to the next match. So a less damaging or a less severe penalty could still disqualify them in the next match. They have to be extra careful. But I like to see that they would have lost the match anyway, and this did not change the outcome.
Let's head downstairs and bring in Kaylee.
Hey guys, I'm here with Max from 2054. How did you feel when you just saw that 0 up on the board?
You know, it felt really good. I mean, it was a very interesting match to watch, definitely. It started out just fine, you know. We planned everything out, strategized before the match for this very reason. And, you know, we got over on that right side, and, you know, they started, Blue Alliance defense was just, you know, they just drove right on top of us. And we're like, whoa, so had to back off of them, and, you know, they were penalized for that. So we're like, good, they caught it. And then, later down in the match, Bobs were doing their thing, getting balls up in the goal. And all of a sudden, did the same thing to them. Bashed them, rode up their bumper, and ripped out their battery, disabling them entirely. So then it was up to us to keep scoring. And, there was a lot of friction behind the driver's station with that. But we powered through, we got our climb, and then the Wobots also came up and got their climb as well. So it did end up working out in the end, but very interesting match to say the least. You never want to see a red card, but yeah, it happens.
When that battery fell out, that happened fairly early. What was your mindset through the rest of the match?
Definitely caught me off guard. I wouldn't say, it didn't make me happy in the slightest. Just kept our cool, focused in, and really tried to pull through for the Alliance. And we did just that.
What do you have to say to the other Alliance after that? After what just happened?
Keep it PG. Defend. It's part of the game. It's a good part of the game, but a little less on the heat next time.
All right, thanks, Max. Back to you guys.
Haley, thank you.
That's tough.
Nice headgear. As we sidebar a little bit off of what happened, but yeah.
It's tough in those situations. I think watching the defensive robot there, I don't think they were being malicious, right? I think what happened was their center of gravity is just a bit high. So as they're backing up and coming forward, they're tipping back and forth. But it is their responsibility to be careful and not make contact in that illegal way. So
I can't imagine that they could drive that efficiently, that they could position their robot in that way to knock power out.
Yeah.
So, it happens. And we move on to this third semifinal match, our 1 versus 4 seed. And this number 1 seed has performed like a number 1 seed.
Last match was their worst, though, just scoring 72 points, 72 to 56. So let's see who can hit in auto mode. That, again, is going to be a big determining factor. Missed shot from 1918.
Blue Alliance going with 3 straight to that upper hub with their cargo.
Yep, so
that'll make it close.
Can 107 get this last shot off? Yes, but it misses. Meanwhile, 4003 hits.
So both teams respectable in their autonomous period as we go to teleop.
Yeah, just a 6-point edge is something that, again, as the Blue Alliance, you'll take.
Not a big margin between these two last time in the first semifinal match.
Now we see some good defense on 4003. Really struggling to get those balls picked up is 4003. As we have 5927 just getting in front of them.
The Lee Robotics robot for the Blue Alliance, again, a little bit out of sorts. I'm not sure what the strategy is there. There's no offense or defense being generated.
Yeah, again, we watched them struggle a bit with their robot. So this is interesting. Blue has gone with a 2 defensive robot strategy. 7234 is defending 1918. 5927 is defending 4003. Meanwhile, 107, the last robot, is trying to keep up in scoring on their own. And so far, it's been working.
Missed shot there, a mate for the Red Alliance, and now the Blue Alliance in the upper hub. Still very close, low scoring, but close. Seems like they're matching each other shot for shot pretty much at this point.
Yep, 5927 kind of filling that midfield role we talked about with 2959 on our other alliance. They're now collecting some balls and looking to take some shots, and we'll see if they get back in defense after that. Because sometimes you can be driving around and pick up the balls that come to you easily while you're defending, then take some shots, then get back on defense, pick up balls that come easy to you.
Blue Alliance moving into the hangar zone to get early points. That's the Globetrotters robot with the first hang.
And we know they can go all the way up to the traversal bar. They did it in the last match. They're going early enough this time to hopefully guarantee it. And they do have the hook set, so that's 15 points for Blue. 1918 trying to answer. 1918 missed this for Red in the last match. This time, no problem, they match.
Lee Robotics in position to hang for the Blue Alliance. Only 2 of the 3 robots for each team go to that hangar zone to get points. It's pretty close. It's a shade of an advantage right now for Red, but we'll see.
Yep, and the hangs are going to cancel out. So we have 1 mid-bar and 1 traversal hang for each alliance. It looked like 107 was trying to get back to hang at the end of that match or trying to make some extra shots, but 61-14 saved their best defense for the closing seconds of that match and were able to stop it from happening.
So credit to this Blue Alliance team, the Globetrotters, Team Robotics, and Lee Robotics. The Red Alliance that had been rolling with 100-point efforts, well, they're struggling to get to that 100-point mark for sure. Here's a replay with the hanger zone.
And I think the score is going to be lower again, but here we go. 1918 missed this last match. They need this match to stay in it. Much closer on the cargo score, and they do get up to the high one. Meanwhile, 4003 just takes the quick and easy mid-bar hang. And 59-27 doing the same thing on blue. They go early. You can see that's a little scary as the hooks are swinging back and forth, but the driver has the patience to wait until the hooks are set on that traversal bar before pulling up. And then they get into position. And once they're on those set hooks, their stationary set of hooks, they're not going to fall off. So they made that last transition no problem.
So we will look at the scoreboard here, and it is a modest 10-point win for the Red Alliance. And that semifinal win moves them into the finals.
Yeah, good strategy by the Blue Alliance. They made a change. They had that 59-27 robot playing some extra defense, and it really did limit the number 1 Alliance scores. I mean, just 72 and 77 here after going well over 100 in their quarterfinal matches.
Let's head down to the pits and talk with the winners. Here's Kaylee Marentet.
Yeah, I'm here with Lydia from the Red Alliance. Congrats, you are going to the finals. What's the most important thing you and your team are going to take into that?
I think our most important thing we're going to take into it is to make sure that we can get a really good climb, because we've been having a little bit of problem with the defending bots. So to have some of our alliance partners that are going to help us try and defend against the people who are trying to get us from getting our hanging points, because those hanging points are really good.
How would you compare yourself to the beginning of the day to where you are now? What's some of the biggest challenges your team has overcome?
I think one of the biggest challenges we've overcome so far is being able to fix things pretty quickly. We've had a couple of incidents where our balls kept getting stuck in our shooter, and we've been able to fix that, and we've been able to make programs so quick so then if it happens again, we could reverse it so then it won't be able to happen again. We'd have a way to get it out.
Okay, gotcha. What's going to be your mindset going into the finals?
Stay focused, make sure we can figure out everything, plan ahead rather than staying in the moment.
Okay, and you guys kind of have a home field advantage. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we've been here a couple times before. It's pretty nice to be here free.
You guys are from around here.
Yeah. So it's pretty nice to be in a familiar space.
Yes, I agree. All right, well, good luck. Yeah. All right, back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thanks. Yeah, Trisonics, they've been riding a wave. The death button. Explain the death button, please, to me.
I don't know, but if I had to guess, you don't push that button until the right time, maybe, or the robot falls off the bar. It could be something like that.
Interesting. It's very well labeled.
Okay, reset climb is the death button. So I think if you hit that button when you're already on a bar and the thing goes to fold back up, that might be how you fall off. So they use that, maybe if something goes wrong in the climb, they'll use that to reset the robot, or they use that in the pits after a match to get the robot reconfigured quickly so that it's back and ready to go. But pushing that at the wrong time, I guess, causes death.
All right, so we are into our semifinal 2 matchup with the 2nd seed against the 6th seed. The 2nd seed has won all 3 of their matches so far. So the 6th seed with some work to do here.
And again, so the last match was that red card. And the way the red card system works for First Robotics is if you get a red card, you're disqualified from the match, you lose the match, and then you carry a yellow card forward. And a second yellow card would then also be another red card. So there are only a few infractions that get you a direct red, but there are a bunch more infractions that could get you a yellow card. So they're going to have to be on their kind of best behavior here.
What's the top 2 or 3 yellow card infractions?
You get some minor stuff like human players reaching onto the field when they're not allowed to. There's a safety violation there. Usually any safety violation will carry a yellow card. And then there's some like repeated or egregious penalties. You might get a yellow card as a warning before you get a second yellow card to disqualify you.
Little team huddle before the match with this Blue Alliance connectivity.
And, you know, it's that or the Twizzler in your pocket,
Yeah,
whatever works to get you the right mojo.
Exactly. Superstitious. That's certainly allowed and encouraged here.
Even though we are a science-based, factual organization, superstition still shows up.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
I'm not immune.
Yeah.
I used to start with a hoodie on, the team hoodie on,
Right.
and when we lose our first match, I would take the hoodie off for the rest of the day. So I have no room to talk.
And then, of course, you know, in the with the Red Alliance, you know, the Tech Bikes, they're so easy to spot because the headgear just makes them stand out and be very obvious. So we go into autonomous. Red Alliance shooting well early. Blue Alliance a big push, and they're catching up and getting step for step with them.
Tech Bikes off on their last attempted pickup. So they left a few points on the table there, but still coming out with a 6-point lead.
Long distance make for the Tech Bikes from the Red Alliance.
And I feel like the story of this event is watch where the balls go. Blue is running out of balls on their side of the field, and both of their shooters are on their side of the field.
Man, you want to see defense. Look at that counter torque robotics. Finally just releasing off of the built-on brains machine.
They've got to be careful though, right? Because they are the team that drew that red card in the last match. So good hard hits are fine as long as they are bumper to bumper.
Blue Alliance within striking distance, about a 10-point lead. Now a couple of upper hub cargo makes for the Red Alliance, pushing that lead the other way.
And Red was starting to pull away, but Blue kind of answering back here. Unlucky on the bounce for that one.
Yeah, it's all about having just enough touch. Red Alliance with good touch. 3 in a row go right down the middle in that upper hub, and now a 4th. That's going to bump that lead to 20. So a make for the Blue Alliance and Team Chaos. Now they're going to go hang. Man, there's a lot of time left, but they're going to go right to it with 2 of their machines. Is that too early?
Yeah, that's too early. You can't go and hang that early when you're down 20 points. Because look, you need to hit every single one of your hangs, and you need Red to miss basically all their hangs to overcome a 20-point deficit.
And this is all time for the Red Alliance to be getting more cargo points that you could be getting.
Yeah, and we'll see. It's going to balloon almost to 30 points. And look, a perfect end game for Blue is only 36 points.
So Red Alliance comfortable right now. We've got 2 of their robots in the hanger zone, ready to hang, and bang. Look at that efficiency.
74 misses 1 hook, but they're up. It was scary. They almost fell off again. 2054 answers back with the traversal climb, and this is what I mean. Like, you can't make up enough points in endgame, you know, with the good hangers on the Red Alliance. So Blue needed more points before they went to hang. I know it's not comfortable. I know it wouldn't have been safe, but sometimes you have to take a chance.
So it looks like our Red Alliance is in a good position. This match is going to go under review, though. We're seeing that on the big board internally here at the in the arena.
Yeah, and it's unlikely that this review is going to be consequential to the outcome of the match. All right. So, you know, again, Blue goes early because, again, they're not confident enough in their hangs yet, and so they feel like they need the extra time in case something goes wrong, which is usually fine. They've been doing that strategy, especially when they go into endgame equal or ahead, but this time they were behind by a lot, so I think they needed to try to score more points, but meanwhile, they were able to succeed, both of them on the high goal, 74 dropping off at the last second. But, you know, 2054 and 85 have more confidence in their hangs, and 2054 is able to go very late in the match after scoring more with the cargo. And, you know, they basically tied on hang points here, despite the difference with Blue going almost 20 seconds earlier.
So we're waiting for the final score. We think it's going to be a Red Alliance win.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, endgame was pretty close to watch. I think endgame was actually tied. And we should see 36-36 on the endgame. Yep, there it is. 36-36 on the end game, and that 29-point lead they had going into it. I said it was about 30-point advantage. And making up 30 points in just the hanging means you get your 36, the other team has to miss everything, and the likelihood of that is just not high enough.
Yeah, you can control somewhat the other team's cargo points if you're playing defense. On the hanger, to each his own. So let's get some strategy and some reflection now as we jump back downstairs and talk with Kaylee.
Hey guys, I'm here with Seth from 141. Tell me how you're feeling right now.
Really good. Our robot's been doing well. We've been able to climb really consistently, even at the last second, and that's really helped us. We've got our shooter going good. It works every time when we start. I've been having fun driving defense and doing well at it, I think. I've been able to shut down quite a few robots.
Very good. If you could tell yourself something, if you could go back and tell yourself something at the beginning of the day, what would you tell yourself?
Get excited.
Okay, I mean, you have been getting excited. Tell me about how those celebrations move your team forward.
It keeps us going. Like, it's easy to get beaten down if you lose a lot. Like for today, during qualifications, we had a streak of bad luck. Robot kept breaking. But we got that fixed between then and tournament now, and it's been going really well.
What do you want to tell the rest of your teammates moving forward?
Keep up the good work. We've been happy to keep the robot running, get working better every time. Just keep going.
All right, well, congratulations. Back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. Yeah, good insight from the pits. We've got a break. We are coming back for our finals, best 2 of 3. Our top seed against our second seed. So the seeding is pretty accurate. We'll come back. More from Allendale as we continue. It's Michigan First Robotics. Our West Michigan District event continues in a moment.
You know, it's so interesting to think about the West Side even 10 years ago. You had buildings that were these beautiful historic buildings, yet they sat there with no love and no investment.
Recognizing a chance to reimagine this historic neighborhood, Mike Van Gessel of Rockford Construction joined forces with the City of Grand Rapids and Consumers Energy.
The city has an aspiration to be one of the most sustainable cities in the nation. And we at Consumers Energy have a similar ambition to be coal-free by 2025.
Consumers Energy and Rockford Construction met the needs of the city by putting electric lines underground and installing on-site solar panels and battery storage. This created a cleaner, more reliable energy grid, which helped draw residents and businesses back to the West Side.
I really didn't miss Chicago as much as I thought I would, because Chicago is known for having a lot of options. Well, here's New Holland Brewery, and here's Butcher's Union, and here's Condado Taco, and here's Ando Sushi, and I found that the West Side really feels like home, and I've really loved living here.
The community has really loved this store being here, a local option for them to get groceries, and obviously being a part of Circuit West and thinking about the future of sustainability has been great for us.
I think this is the future. Where we're at with this project is a sample size of what we can continue to do more of.
To me, it's where's the next Circuit West?
So a little bit of a rest between the semifinals and the finals matches. Number 1 against number 2 seed, so no surprise there. We are going to have one of the Red Alliances change to blue. That would be the Tech Vikes from Hopkins and the Built on Brains and Wobot. They will be the Blue Alliance, and the Red Alliance is NC Gears, Hamilton Cyberhawks, and Trisonics. Earlier today, Kaylee talking with one of the participants in today's events, Lily Johnson.
Hey everyone, we're here with Lily Johnson from Team 107. Lily, tell me how excited you are to be here.
I'm really excited. This is my first competition and it's been amazing.
Your first competition?
Yes.
Tell me, what are you most excited for today?
I'm really excited just to see how the robot performs. We've been working on it for a long time and I'm happy to see that it's working pretty well.
So why did you decide to get involved in robotics?
I've always been interested in mechanical engineering, but never really found something that let me really explore that and see how important that was and if it was something I wanted to go into. And robotics really gave me that opportunity to find that I really enjoyed it.
So tell me what you do on the team. What do you enjoy doing for your team?
So I'm on the build team, which means that I put a lot of the pieces together and then help with repairs. So like when our intake gets broken, like it just did, then I'm the one that's in there trying to fix it.
Sounds good. Tell me about your team a little bit. I understand that you guys are 50% girls. Love that.
Yeah, just about. It's really good and it's really encouraging because in a lot of STEM fields, there aren't as many women, and I'm just encouraged that the numbers continue to increase. And it's amazing.
I love that. I'm all about that. What do you want to tell people who are maybe thinking about getting involved?
That there's something for everyone on the team. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be just into building or programming. There's other aspects of the team that you can get behind, like marketing or sponsorships or scouting or information like that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you and good luck today.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
Kaylee and Lily, thank you. Yeah, the energy that drives everything. We have corporate sponsors, we have mentors, but it's youthful energy that really kind of sets the stage for everything going forward. So yeah, we are right about to wrap up our timeout and move into our best 2 of 3 finals. Let's roll into our updated brackets. So everything has maybe gone according to at least the way we expected it would. The 1 and 2 seeds are ready to lock horns and compete for a championship here today.
6 seed that pulled off the upset against number 3, but 1 and 2 in the finals as expected. And I've just been given, during the break, I was given a quick history lesson here. The teams we have in the finals, 1918, 85, 141, and 2054 are some of the oldest and most successful teams on the west side of the state. So at this event in West Michigan, 2010, 2054 played against 1918, 2054 won. 2011 at this event, 2054 played against 1918 in the finals, 1918 won. 2012, 2054 played against 1918, and not only that, but 2054 was with 141 and against 85. 1918 was with 85. 2054 won that one. And 2013, they met again in the finals, where it was 2054 versus 1918 and 4003. And 2054 won that one. So right now, 2054 with the edge, but 1918 this time, the number 1 seed.
So in summary, the drivers and the teams change, but the robots know each other very well.
Yep. And the teams, the mentors who stick around. So they'll be familiar with what each other's programs bring here. And these are the veteran teams. These are teams that have been around the block, have been in the finals before. So they've definitely been watching the other side of the bracket. They've had their scouting reports. And we'll see. I think in the first match, though, I would expect both alliances to just come out with their 1 defensive robot. 141 from our blue alliance is going to go on defense. 6114 probably from the red alliance will go on defense. And they're just going to have a shootout from that point on and see who has to make the adjustments based on who loses the first match.
So we hear Kaylee talking in the pits with the kids. They've got a lot of energy. They're competitive. Is there any trash talking that goes back and forth between the mentors?
I have basically never seen trash talk that was not like good natured. So I had some buddies and stuff, right, that we would play against. And sometimes with them, you get a little bit into it, but, never anything,
over the
really,
top.
Yeah, never anything over the top here.
So we'll have kind of a formal introduction for these 2 teams. And the handshakes come first.
Yep, so one more wrinkle that's getting put into this is the field is as close to symmetrical as it can be, but our number 2 seed switched from the red side of the field to the blue side of the field. So that means that they're going to be running their auto modes kind of in a new spot. Now, it should be the same auto mode, and they will have spent the week dialing in any differences between the red and blue sides. but that is one small disadvantage for them. They're going into this on the other side of the field where they have not been practicing.
Let's check in very quickly with Kaylee.
Her family is actually still in Ukraine. Her dad's a firefighter over there, and she says she's been trying to talk to her family weekly, but her name is Jane, and they actually changed the robots' colors to Ukrainian flag colors, that blue and yellow. So they've got some buttons supporting her, and she said it just means the world to her. So I thought that was really cool, and they've just been supporting her through these hard times. Just shows you what good teammates they are.
Yeah, thank you, Kaylee. We've, kind of been very good about trying to connect with the human interest stories, and it's not all about the robots. It's kind of about just people coming together and supporting each other in the best ways that they can in whatever way they can. So thank you for that, and we'll certainly try to keep finding those stories to flesh everything out as we go forward to next weekend, and then we'll end up at Saginaw Valley State mid-April and crown a state champion.
Yep, absolutely. So this is week 4. We've got 2 more weeks of district events. We'll be back next week, I believe, in Troy. There'll be 1 more week of district events, and then we'll be back at Saginaw Valley State for that state championship. And, just a reminder, the teams on the field here, a lot of them are going to be in good shape for that state championship. Again, you collect points throughout the district season. You play 2 district events, and in each district event, you get points based on how you perform. So if you get an award, you get some points. If you win matches, you get points. If you make it to the finals, you get points. If you win the whole thing, you get even more points.
Today, Dan, we're kind of in this bubble here at Grand Valley State. There's other events going on elsewhere. These teams are conscious of what happens on other sites on the same day they're competing, right? Is that part of their process?
Yeah, for sure. There are a few things that they'll be looking for. So first of all, we have 5 events going on in Michigan this week. We have one in Belleville, Lansing, Midland, out here at West Michigan, and in Saline. And you'll watch not only the events for the outcomes, especially if you're on the bubble in points for the state championship, you're going to be watching as those results come in. But the teams that are out there winning in the finals, putting up big scores, you're going to scout those teams before you see them, right, at the state championship. So you'll be bringing up any videos recorded, any YouTube videos where the matches were saved, and you can see, how good are they really? They won their event, but what can they do?
They're good, but how did they win?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Game film is game film, whether it's human competition or robotics competition.
That is absolutely correct. And that's one of the hardest things to get. We get lots of stats for, how many balls people are scoring, but what is their favorite position on the field to shoot from? And if you learn that, now you're ready to play defense against them. It looks like everything is set up. Just got to close a gate so the robots can't get off the field. And the auto mode alignment is unchanged for both alliances. They're going to be running the exact same auto mode here that they ran before.
Autonomous period is underway. Lots of red cargo balls flying early into that upper hub.
Oh, 2054 just locked on something else. They shot 3 balls off the field instead of towards the center hub. They have a camera that helps them aim. That camera saw something. I don't know what it was, but they wasted 3 auto mode shots, and now it's an 18-point deficit.
Yeah, they're going to have some work to do. Great autonomous period for the Run Alliance. Remember, they have had 2 100-plus point efforts already today.
And we continue to keep our eyes on the 2054 robot. It just shot a ball that came out with probably half the velocity it should have. And, the question is, are they switching to defense here? And I think they might be.
That's the Tech Bikes robot. We see a lot of red cargo balls heading for that upper hub. And that's 2 points every time they go in. Now, there's a nice little run for the Blue Alliance. They're well behind, though, down about 30 points.
Yeah, and 2054 is back trying to shoot, so that is good news. They also have a lot of red balls on the blue side of the field, so 141 now has a good chance at putting a lot of defensive pain in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 balls on the red balls kind of buried deep on the blue side of the field, and that is 8 and 9.
Red Alliance has a ball roll out. Now one rolls in as they go to that upper hub. Blue Alliance not getting a lot of shots up into either hub. We've seen that most everything today is seemingly going to the upper hub, not the lower hub.
Yep, I mean 2 points instead of 1, so that is where our strategies will converge. 85 also playing defense, by the way. That's the other shooter for the Blue Alliance. I think both offensive robots on the Blue Alliance are having problems. And we can see that as Red starts to pull away.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit out of hand here, and it will not be a chance for the Blue Alliance to do anything in the hang. They will go hang now, though. That's the 2054 robot. That's Tech Bikes. They're going to make the first move into the hangar zone.
Yeah, but it's a 43-point deficit, and that's just not something you're going to get back in the hanging, especially 1918 sticks to 15. So now, it's basically impossible to make up this deficit.
Yeah, that NC Gears robot for the Red Alliance, boy, they are so good in the hangar zone.
Yeah, they missed once, right? And we were shocked that they missed. We just assumed they were up.
Red Alliance looks like they're back to their winning ways in terms of big points and dominant showings.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be just under 100 points this time, but still, like another strong cargo showing. 4,003 hitting a ton in auto mode to set them up, and then just continuing to pile it on during the driver-controlled period.
So for the Blue Alliance, robot problems, they've got some things to look at very closely during this break, right?
Yeah. 85 switched over to defense. I didn't catch quite how early that happened, but that's a huge problem. And we saw the Tech Vikes with their missed shot in auto mode, a weak shot during teleop, and then some defense and some... It was not characteristic of them. Picking up balls took longer, shooting took longer. They got a few shots in, but they're going to have to work on that.
Let's get a scoreboard check. A dominant win, almost 100 points for the Red Alliance. Again, the advantage came in the cargo. The hangar's a wash. As we've learned, it's really about how many points you score in cargo.
Yeah, you can make it up if it's close in the end game. But here's 2054. Look at those shots going off the field. So again, there's a camera on that turret. You can see it rotating back around, and that's supposed to lock on the center goal. There's some what we call retroreflective tape on the center goal. So if you shine a light at it, it'll shine that light back to you. So the green light they have on the front of that robot is supposed to be tracking the goal. It tracks something else, and they wasted 3 shots there. And here, they really struggled to pick up balls, and they're much better at it than what we're seeing here.
Let's head downstairs and join Kaylee Marentet.
Hey guys, here I'm with Max from 2054. Tell me what happened out there.
Oh boy, a lot happened, I'll say that. All right, so match started out, pretty simple. I think our Auton, once again, ran us right into the human PlayStation, causing our intake to break. This time it's a little bad though, because I think one of our actual strokes on our cylinders snaps, so we got to replace that before the next finals match. Yeah, they got us on this one, but we're going to come back and bring the heat. We just got to get our intake swaps. We're having limelight issues as well, so auto tracking was mostly out the window. We had to kind of do a leapfrog there in the middle because, we didn't have limelight, so we couldn't shoot unless we wanted to do low goal, but, there's not much to that against a team that can score all high goal. So, we ended up switching with Bob's so they would be our primary shooter because our original plan was basically that, they go play D and we're back at home untouchable and we're shooting the whole match. Problem was, couldn't shoot, could barely pick up for the save our life. So we're like, Bob's, come in. So they ended up kind of trying to shoot for us for a little bit, but then we're like, okay, we got limelight back. And pickup was still broke. So, yeah, it was really tough picking up balls, but we got them in, we shot what we could. It wasn't good though. So.
Well, I know you got to get back with your team. You're getting a little antsy, so I'm going to let you go. But thank you for talking with me, all right? Thanks, Max. Back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, before you go, Kaylee can paraphrase exactly what he just said, right? I want to go back and see Kaylee's eyes go, whoa, maybe not. You, Mr. Dan Kimura. No, Kaylee, we're going to let Dan Kimura paraphrase.
I got this one.
Yeah,
right. All right, Kaylee. All right. Dan, take it away.
All you need to know is every time he said limelight, substitute in camera that targets the goal. So their camera basically crashed on them. That's why it was not tracking correctly. It rebooted at some point in the match. It was working, so they tried to go back to shooting, but their intake was broken. That's why we saw, even though they shot some balls later in the match, they were having a lot of trouble picking them up.
And I can see Kaylee downstairs nodding her head, so she agrees with you.
She knew.
She knew, right.
She just wanted me to have my moment.
All right, a break in progress as the Blue Alliance fixing those robots. We will come back to Grand Valley State as our finals match continues. Here, it's the Michigan First Robotics West Michigan District event.
What does it take to create a more sustainable future of mobility? What does it take to build a future with 0 traffic fatalities and 0 emissions? Aptiv is uniquely positioned to answer those questions, situated at the intersection of the safe, green, and connected megatrends transforming the automotive industry. Sustainability is in our DNA. We are taking on some of society's toughest challenges with innovations that combat climate change, save lives, and improve the way the world moves. With both the brain and the nervous system of the vehicle, Aptiv Solutions optimize electric vehicle architecture, making intelligent design trade-offs that reduce cost, weight, and mass, allowing for faster democratization of technologies that reduce CO2 emissions and reduce traffic accidents and fatalities. Aptiv not only leads the industry in high-voltage component innovations, from chargers and inlets to power converters and battery disconnect units, but also in process automation, miniaturization, and manufacturing excellence. Through Aptiv's smart vehicle architecture, we see the vehicle as a complete system, enabling an efficient and accelerated path to the electrified, software-defined vehicle. Sustainability is also in the way we operate. Aptiv is committed to having its operations in 44 countries, powered by 100% renewable energy by 2030, and becoming fully carbon neutral by 2040. With our full system solutions, innovative spirit, and unmatched global capabilities, Aptiv is the customer's partner of choice to bring the future of mobility to life.
Hey guys, yeah, we're here with 141 down here fixing one of their bots right now. You can see they're acting really frantically, trying to get things fixed up before the next match. You can see mentors jumping in, students jumping in, trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to fix some things, trying to go as fast as they possibly can and communicate with each other as fast and also as clearly as they can. There's also a 2054 over there in the blue working on their bot too, trying to fix theirs. I just talked to Max earlier from 2054. He said, yeah, they got some work to do before the next match, and they're just going to try to do what they can as fast as they can to make sure their bots are working. We're going to head it back to you guys right now, though.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. Yeah, that's a very anxious time when you're working in a very dire situation. So what do you think they were working on down there based on what you can see?
So both of the robots are working on their intakes, and the reason why is because a lot of these robots, in order to get a nice wide area that you can grab the ball from, will rotate down a roller kind of in front of the robot that you can see here. The problem is that roller is now sticking out in front of the robot. So if you're driving forward and you crash into something, the thing it's going to hit is that roller, that intake. So you got to be very careful with how you design them, or you got to be ready to do something like this in a timeout.
The clock is ticking, and yeah, lots of things going on here. Let's go back and rejoin Kaylee with one of her interviews from earlier today.
Hey everyone, we're here with Bella from Kingsford Robotics. Bella, I understand you had a hard time getting here this weekend. Can you tell us what happened?
So pretty much by the time that we got down there, we realized that the Mackinac Bridge was closed because due to falling ice.
Oh my gosh. So what did you guys do?
So pretty much by the time we got down there, we were just like, we thought, oh, it's going to be like a couple of hours. We were going to wait it out. No, that's not what happened. We ended up, our coach called in a favor, and we were in a conference room for about 7 hours working on our robot.
in a conference room. Where was this conference room? Where were you stuck at?
Okay, so we were in St. Ignace and at Quality Inn.
Oh my goodness. So you were stuck there. Was that overnight? You were stuck there overnight?
So we were there for like pretty much most of the day and for a bit at night. And then one of the coaches for St. Ignace that isn't a coach anymore, like ex-coach, he pretty much let us stay in his apartment for the night.
Oh, that was nice of him. Tell me what was going through your mind. I mean, were you worried you weren't going to make it, or?
I was scared that we weren't going to actually be able to go to competition.
Okay, why did you decide to just kind of keep going? You know, you could have been like, you know what, the bridge is closed. Sorry, guys.
In the spirit of Kingsford, we know we're not going to give up on what we do. We keep pushing through no matter what. If something happens, we keep on going. We charge through it until it's impossible to do.
Sounds good. Well, we're glad you're here. We're glad you made it safely.
Yep.
All right, and good luck. We're going to send it back to you.
Yeah, just like sometimes you have to improvise when you're in the pits, when you're in the arena. Sometimes getting to your destination site is not as smooth as you would expect. So we're glad they're here, we're glad they're safe, and we're glad they're competing at a high level this week.
Yep, for sure. And we can see the timeout is kind of ticking down. We've got 5 robots on the field, and we're still watching 141 here.
We need one more.
Yep. Just racing to try to get that in. We'll see the head ref will kind of hang out over there and monitor it. So he gets to choose when you're out of time completely and when the doors kind of get closed here. So he's over there telling them, guys, it's time.
Well, there's a lot of fingers flying there. So, you know, the challenge is, too, you have to know, I mean, you got to know what you're taking apart and how to put it back. I mean, I don't envy any of them.
It's sort of, you go through these tiers as you design the robot, and the first step is like, hey, can we build something that works? And then you start to think about these other things like, hey, if this breaks, can we fix it in a 6-minute timeout? Right. Do we have to redesign it to try to be able to do that? And this looks like, you know, maybe it was just very, very catastrophic what happened, but this is a lot of fixing going on. It looks like it's just about together here, though.
It's like a pit crew in NASCAR. Timing is everything.
Yeah, and the hard part here, too, is it's not just changing the tires, right? You'll have some things on the robot that you know are going to break, and those things you can do very quickly because you can practice it. But when it's something new that broke for the first time, you got to kind of figure out the best way to fix it. It's like when they got to pull the NASCAR back to the garage, rip off the old bumper, you know, cut away some bits that are hanging off the car, and then get it back out as fast as possible. And so that may be fixed to spec, and that may be fixed the fastest way they could, and they're hoping it works.
I wonder if, are they trying to do a repair while they're moving it? That would be like the ultimate move.
Yeah, he's probably still tweaking stuff, and you can see they are actually trying to get, I think that's a tether there, that cable. I think they might still be trying to get the robot reset into its starting position here too, so we'll see how much more work they've got to do. But they are getting it on the field, which is good. You never want to see a robot not make it to the field in time, right? You always want to have a 3v3 match.
I can't think of a time we've ever had a 2v3.
It's pretty rare. It does happen, and it can happen. And occasionally a team will decide, like, hey, you know what? We can lose this match. We just need time to fix our robot. Obviously, our Blue Alliance here does not have that luxury, as they lost the first finals match.
Yeah, so this 141 robot, well, that's the X factor right now. And again, that's the Wobot from West Ottawa High School in nearby Holland. So we'll know in maybe the first, 35 seconds.
Yeah, the good news for them is that robot has been primarily playing defense. They try to shoot the ball at the start, and then having that intake is good, especially if they can use it to do some ball denial. But if it doesn't work, that shouldn't be the biggest problem for this alliance. Now, 2054 got to the field earlier after also fixing their intake. If their intake doesn't work, I don't know how the number 2 alliance is going to be able to hang in here.
So we have seen this Red Alliance, the number 1 seed. They've had at least 75 points in every single match today. And they've topped out at 116. So their average per match is in a very, very high place.
Yeah, and the good news for the Red Alliance is we heard from Blue that their strategy in the first match was double defense. And against double defense, they were still able to put up 97 points. So that looks really good for the Red Alliance. They're going to go out and just try to execute again. The Blue Alliance, they're going to hope that the defense wasn't effective because they kept having to rotate robots in and out. Right? They had 85 playing defense, then they had 85 trying to shoot. Then they had 54 playing defense, then 54 thought they could shoot again. And so swapping in and out maybe left the openings for the Red Alliance to run the score up. They're going to have to hope that was the case and that if they stick to that strategy of sending 2 robots on defense, they're able to be effective.
So we are in what could be our last championship match of the day. If it's a Red Alliance win, they will be champions of this West Michigan District event. And the cargo is flying. Everybody gets their balls into that upper hub.
2054's intake missed 1 ball.
Good start, though, for Blue Alliance.
And they missed the second, but the second was because they didn't drive far enough. But
so
good enough.
Yeah, positive start for the Blue Alliance as we end autonomous and go into teleoperated period.
That intake looks like there's still some issues. 2054 pushed the ball away instead of picking it up. Meanwhile, 141 is shooting.
Not a great push yet by the Red Alliance. We see a couple of makes. Now Blue Alliance answers with a couple of their own.
Which you wouldn't expect because Blue Alliance is playing no defense. They went from 2 robots on defense to no robots on defense.
This could be a very high-scoring match, and Blue Alliance is going toe-to-toe with this Red Alliance right now. Look at that, 4 cargo balls up in that upper hub.
Yep, 61-14 did a nice move. They're picking up some balls and trying to feed them back to their side of the field. But look, we have those 5 balls on hiding behind the hub again. And I'm not sure. Yeah, 61-14, great move there. They saw the balls hiding. They got them out of that really bad spot, and they're going to spit them back across the field to try to give it to their 2 shooting robots.
They just
no, they'll just dump them in.
They went
That's
lower,
fine too.
They went lower hub for 1 point. That's fine. But every cargo point is going to be significant. Blue Alliance is down just about 10. Now a push by the Red Alliance. Boy, I tell you, this is going to be very interesting when we get to the hangar zone.
And Blue coming
Alliance,
back. That's
oh my
keep it
goodness.
Close.
That's about 4 in a row in that upper hub, but the Red Alliance counter punches with pretty much the same amount.
7-point difference can be decided in endgame. Blue can come back with their hangs. 2054 going a little early.
Blue Alliance, if they go down, they are not going to go down easily. This has been a great showing. The 2054 Tech Vikes robot, that's a successful hang for them. Red Alliance hasn't even gone in the hangar zone. Now they're in.
1918 going very late for them. Only 15 seconds left. They should be fine. They should be able to do it, no problem, if nothing goes wrong, and nothing went wrong.
Blue Alliance robots are colliding with each other, but they're all jacked up. They think they're going to get major points in that hangar zone. I don't think Red has all 3 of their robots in the air.
Okay, so Blue has got an extra 10 points in the hangar zone, I think. But I think Red might have been ahead by just more than 10 points as we went into the end game. It's going to be very close, though.
Before the hangar zone points come into play, it's about a 15-point advantage for the Red Alliance.
Yep. So we're waiting for the final scores, maybe some penalties.
Let's see what happened earlier before we get the final tally. Let's see how this played out again. What a great showing by the Blue Alliance.
141, they're able to pick up a ball. That shows us they were able to fix their intake in time, and I believe they made that shot as well. So good job by 141 there. 2 more shots here from 141, and then 85 pulling up and adding shots while 254 goes from downtown. That was Blue's big push to try to close the gap.
Wow. Yeah, big applause here. We're going to roll in with our scoreboard and look at that final.
Yep, we said it would be close.
You cannot get closer than that. I mean, when you roll up almost 100 points and come up just 4 short, you got to be pretty happy. But it's a Red Alliance win. They go back to the 100-point well for the 3rd time today and end up winning this event here in Allendale.
Yeah, so we saw a couple of really clever things. The number 1 seed adjusted, sending 61-14, kind of on a ball control detail. Instead of playing man defense, which they had struggled with in some of the earlier matches, they were just picking up balls, either dumping them in the low goal or sending them back across the field for 4,003 and 1918 to shoot. And Blue said, hey, look, we got to keep up with them scoring. Let's go 3 robots on offense. And it almost worked for them.
Very excited. Kaylee Marentet has a whole bunch of excited Red Alliance drivers with her right now. Kaylee, have at it.
Yeah, well, congratulations, guys. First, I got to tell you how you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling great. That was a lot of fun. I'm just glad we were able to pull it all together and push through that finals.
What was the celebration like over there?
Oh, it was amazing. Kind of hectic, but lots of joy.
In a good way, hectic in a good way.
Just a lot of fun.
All right, what was going through your mind, when you were waiting to see that announcement that Red Alliance had won?
I was just trying to calculate the score in my head, see how it went, but overall I was just glad that we got this far. Even if we lost, I would have been proud.
What do you think is the biggest thing that got you that win?
I think just our cargo, how fast we can cycle them, it really helped. And our defense was so tight. It's just a team effort all around.
So I saw point to him kind of when you talked about that. How strong is this alliance and how did it get you through this?
I'd say it's very strong. I'd say we're probably the weak link. They are very good, but I'm glad we were able to participate and help them out in any way we can.
I don't know, what do you have to say after today? I mean, a lot going on.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations, you guys. Back to you guys.
All right, Kaylee, thank you. Yeah, lots of good feelings down in the pits, and if you're the Blue Alliance, you got nothing to hang your head about because, to go down the way you did in that final match to roll up 96 points.
Yeah, and with all the robot issues, with all the
right.
stuff they had to fix, I mean, that was a great showing by the number 2 seed.
We'll take a break here and come back and provide some final thoughts. It's a victory for the Red Alliance with the schools from Allendale, Fremont, and Hamilton. More in a moment from Allendale.
How do you change the way the world moves? Change course. Aptiv is engineering the brain and the nervous system to bring the future of mobility to life with advanced computing platforms and smart vehicle architecture, taking you from point A to point B and every point in between. We are Aptiv, and we're moving mobility forward.
At Consumers Energy, we believe change is imagining. Change is big, small, clean. Him, them, us, you. Together, we can bring clean energy to Michigan and protect the environment for generations to come. Learn about your clean energy choices and how you can become a force of change. consumersenergy.com/change.
DTE believes leaders are defined by doing what's right, not what's easy. So we're tripling renewables and cutting carbon emissions in half over the next 10 years and using cleaner natural gas. Working even harder to create a future where producing affordable, reliable energy doesn't contribute to climate change. Because to lead, we have to do what's right. DTE.
We have crowned a champion here at this West Michigan District event. So what an exciting afternoon here. We had a great time. Dan, with some final thoughts from you.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was 61-14's first ever district victory. So awesome job by them. They played a great kind of ball control role there. And, you know, we're looking forward to seeing how this season progresses. We saw more and more teams getting good at shooting in the upper goal. We expect that to continue as we get deeper into the season. So when we come back next week at Troy, it'll be interesting to see, you know, will we see more of that 3 robots on offense strategy, or will they stick with 2 on offense, 1 on defense?
Yeah. Kaylee, quickly down to you and get some of your thoughts on this, all these events that unfolded today.
Hey, yeah, first thought is that it's cold in here. I had to throw on my coat in the middle because the doors were open. But overall today, honestly, a roller coaster. There was times where it was really intense, times that it was excited. Lots of players that did have their heads down after they had lost. But overall, just a lot of camaraderie, a lot of teamwork. I heard so many thank yous to each other through these alliances, and just happiness to be here and be back. But overall, a good day, lots of exciting times, and looking forward to next weekend. Send it back to you.
All right, Kaylee, thanks. Yeah, we'll be in Troy next week. More action coming. We'll go to the east side of the state and see how things shake out there. That'll wrap it up today from Grand Valley State University. For my partners, Dan Kimura and Kaylee Marentet, I'm Dan Gutowski, as we say so long from Grand Valley, where the champions are the Tri-Sonics from Allendale High School, the NC Gears from Family Community, and the Hamilton Cyberhawks from Hamilton High School.